Tits and teeth. That isn't meant to go on, is what I say.
As always, forgot to put the mic on. That always happens on a Secret Sewing Club as well. I spend all of my time sorting everybody else out and then forget to do my own. So, welcome to the Secret Sewing Club. It's basically 3 hours of sewing / herding cats. It works differently to your regular TV shopping. So if you've seen Crate and Craft and Sewing Street before, it's slightly different to that. You will be buying directly from these guys here. And what you'll need to do is there's either a QR code on their screen when they're demonstrating, or their website will be at the bottom. So you just head directly there if there is something that you like. So let's see who we've got today. So we've got Sarah, who is above me.
Hello.
Do you know what? I was going to patch in Adam today at some point as well. I'll work on that.
See if you'll go.
I'll work on that. And then over here we have Gail. There she is. And next to me on this side, it's weird because it's all back to front. We've got Nicola as well. So hello everybody. I think today's chat is mostly going to be what you're having for your tea, because I picked a horrible time for this. I'm starving.
And you can't even sneak off and eat something like me. We can when the other people are demoing, because you've got to be in mission control.
Yeah, it is very much still mission control in here. I was hoping to be able to do some demos today, but it's I think I need to kind of unplug and replug everything, so I've got less wires everywhere. So I think we'll maybe go for that for Sunday, but not today. But I do have new things today, so I will show you all of them. So, what have you been up to? Because we did this, it was exactly these three about 2 weeks ago.
Yeah. Was it last Sunday? Sunday.
No, it wasn't Sunday just gone. It might have been the one before.
Previous Sunday, yes. Yeah, previous Sunday, yeah.
So I know you, Sarah, have got slightly different projects because you sold out with all your projects.
Yeah. So we've got all new stuff.
It's a great thing. And you know, you hopped on with us with John yesterday, and I mean we were completely honest that this is something that actually helps our businesses, you know, just stay alive. Much. So we do really appreciate people coming on. If you're just joining us for the chaos and the projects, then that is fine. But if there is something that you like, then please do go to these guys and grab what you need. And it's a lot more kind of interactive as well, because we can get your messages up. So if you've got questions, give us a shout. We'll get those questions kind of chucked straight to our guests. And there's also quite a lot of crossover. So there might be things that Gail's using that Sarah has on, and Gail uses Fleece, and then we'll usually put that on our website. So there's quite a bit of crossover, just to make sure everybody's got everything that's on there. So Nicola, I believe you're going first today.
I am, if that's
excellent. Okay. And what have you got for us today?
I've got new things New things.
Love it. Let's go.
Lovely. So I have been busy sewing since the last show, and I've got some new things to show you. It's all based around my Quilt As You Go templates, and today I have got, I'm going to show you, I have got the Star in a Hexagon template set, and this is 3 templates. This includes the hexagon. There we go. It's on black paper so that you can see it, because normally I go, oh, this is the template, and they're clear and you can't see them. So I've actually put them, I've got it upside down. I've got them on black paper, but yours will be clear. So the Star in the Hexagon has the hexagon, the jewel, and the diamond. These 2 are 1 3/4 inches, and this is 3.5. So I've got that. So that's that one, and that's this lovely quilt behind me. Then the 1 3/4 hexagon is in this little bag. with an 1 3/4 diamond. So I've got that as well. I forgot to tell you, the 1 3/4 star and hexagon set is normally $39.99. But today, well, actually for 1 week, so until next Thursday evening, this is only going to be £35. So you're going to save £4. So that is on special offer. So those templates make this lovely quilt behind me. And the bag templates make these. Now, these are what I've been busy sewing. I've got this navy. Oh, no, this is the black with a Moda fabric in between. So it's got this lovely Moda fabrics in the hexagons. So this is one kit. Now, this would normally be, I'm looking at my prices so I can see what I'm doing. This would normally be £35. But for 1 week, they're going to be 32. So you get all the fabric, all the backing fabric, a magnetic clasp, both templates. You will need to provide your wadding on that though. So that's new today. Ooh, snazzy pants, isn't that lovely? And I've also got this version. And again, same thing, will normally be 35, but it's 32 for a week. And again, this is Moda fabric. And it's got these lovely greens and blues, gorgeous. And it's got navy dimples, which is Macawa, on the background. So that's new. What else have I got? I've got the quilt pattern. That is available, and that is £8.50. Now, if you wanted to go for all of the templates, I have a mega bundle. And that includes the 3 in the star and the hexagon, the extra diamond in the bag, and it also contains a triangle and a half hexagon. So everything you need to create some amazing things with your 3 1 3/4 star and a hexagon. But I've got something really special, and I should have told you this at the beginning. Anybody who buys from me today up until midnight, I found this. Now this is my template that is sold at Missouri Star Quilt Company. And if you can see, Jenny Doan signed the instructions and the template. And I found this and I thought, well, this is the first show, so I'll do something special. Anybody who places an order up until midnight tonight, I will put this in somebody's order and you will have this as a present. This is a money can't buy things because Jenny's in Africa for 2 years. So you're never going to get her to sign one of her templates. So money can't buy a present. Present from me to you. Somebody's going to get that today. What else have I got? I've got something else new. I've got my 10-inch neutral squares. They're like a layer cake. And I've got them in neutral and rainbows. And I'm going to show you how they work really well with the 1 3/4 star and hexagon set. So I'm just going to clear the decks a little, bear with, because I have no magic hands. Well, he's sitting over in the living room, but I need to get my stuff, which is here, and I'm going to show you how we go about using the 10-inch squares with the 1 3/4. So let's go to the overhead. Sorry, I've got all my bits and bobs ready. So here is, look, it doesn't fit onto the camera. Here is a 10-inch square. If I move it, no, it's not all in the camera. But you can see I've cut out the backing of the hexagon and the main fabric. Now, these are fabrics that are in the packs of 10-inch squares. And you can see you can get 2 outers and 2 inners. But you can also, if I just move that, you could get 3 outers and you can get masses of the little ones. So that's the hexagon on the 10-inch square. I didn't try it to see if it would all go into the camera, on the camera, so sorry. But I'll move these about. I've just placed these. You can get 2 outer jewels and 2 inner. And you can also get the diamonds. So there we go. You can get those. On a 10-inch square as well, you can get 6. Let me grab those. We can get 6 diamonds. So there we go. We can get 1 there. But this is all in the quilt pattern. So if we have a look in here, I'll show you how that's the layout of the quilt. There's how you can lay out the inners on a 10-inch square. And if we go here, you can see the other shapes, how you can get the other shapes onto the 10-inch square. So that is all in your pattern. And you get to make, you could either make this quilt, and I've got one where you don't need the extra templates. Now I'm going to go back to the front because I've got something to show you as well. Bear with. I have got this quilt that I started making, and this is the one with the big gaps in the sides, but it still looks really wonderful. So that is one side, and this is the other side. Now I created these. I've got fallen on the floor, but let's grab these. I created the individual templates by hand, but I've sewn and this forms a hexagon. So you can see you have one hexagon, 6 jewels and 6 diamonds, and that becomes a hexagon. So I call this a star in a hexagon. So that is one shape, and I am going to join it in the sewing machine with an invisible thread. Now this one I have joined with an invisible thread. You can't see it, but I'm going to go to the zoom, and if I hold that, where are we? I don't think you're even going to see it. It looks like I've hand stitched it, but along here I've stitched that with invisible thread and a zigzag stitch. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to throw these on the floor. Luckily I cleaned the floor earlier. What I'm going to do is I'm going to join these two on the sewing machine with a zigzag stitch and the invisible thread. Now you're not going to see the invisible thread, unfortunately, but you'll see how easy it is to sew these two together. So I'm coming over to my sewing machine and I'm putting one hexagon underneath this side and one this side, and I'm just lining the two edges up and putting my foot down, and then I'm going to change the zigzag setting, so I've got a nice small zigzag stitch, and then I am going to just zigzag these together. So I'm going to start off and then do a little bit of back tacking, and then I am going to go forward. Now I am not pushing these together, I'm letting them just go under the sewing machine, and I've missed a bit, so I'm going to live TV, so I'm going to go back and I've missed a section, so I'm going to start again, and I am going to stitch again. I'm going to go a little bit slower this time. I went a bit fast and I missed joining the edges together. Now,
I don't think it's always a terrible thing when people see us not get it quite right, because this is going to happen to you at home, and sometimes it's actually more valuable to learn how to fix it than it is to see perfect demonstrations that when you get back and you get it home you think, oh well, what happens now?
Yeah, it's true, and the invisible thread is so forgiving that, you know, I stopped the machine, I went back to the bit that I missed and started again. And with the invisible thread, because it is invisible, you can't really see that mistake. you know, it is really easy. And we do all make mistakes. None of us are perfect, are we? I mean, I'm sure you still make mistakes, Hayley, don't you?
Constantly. But sometimes it feels that's all I do.
Well, I know I do. And it is just one of those things. We aren't perfect, but we can make things and still love them and love them because they're imperfect. So I'm going to cut that there. I'm going to show you what I've just stitched. And you really, I'm going to try this way. You can't see where I went wrong because the thread just covers it up. And that's so easy to join with that invisible thread because I've got different colours. That goes over the two fabrics and actually joins it without any problem. And I could carry on sewing lots of different colours on the machine of fabric with that invisible thread, and you don't have to keep changing the colours up. So it's fantastic. I'd highly recommend this invisible thread. And it's very forgiving if you make mistakes, like I just did. So that is the joining of them, and that will go into that big quilt. I might, you never know, I might even get it finished by the end of this session. But there is something else I want to do because I knew it was going to be first on. I wanted to set myself a challenge. Is that all right, Hayley? Having a challenge?
Absolutely, go for it.
I have cut a star in a hexagon out, and I'm going to sew it by hand and see how far I get by the end of the evening. Obviously not in my next demonstrations because I'll be doing something different, but in the gaps in this evening, I'm going to see how much I can actually get made to show you how simple it is. So let's start. I'm going to start. I've got my templates in my project pocket. Let's start. Oh, I've changed. Let's go here. I've taken my diamond template and I've got the diamond backing and I've placed that over the top and I've put the wadding in the middle. I'm not going to hark on too much about how to do this because I seem to do this every time. I've got the main fabric as well, and I'm going to take some pins and just pop those in place. Now I'm going to do this slightly different this time because I am actually going to hand sew this. So I'm remove the template and I am going to grab some clips because I like to have clips when I'm hand sewing, and I've turned that first edge over to meet the center of the template, and I'm going to pop a couple of pins in. They're not pins, are they? They're clips, you see. Can't even talk today, Hayley. What am I like?
Well, actually, I've got a couple of questions for you.
Oh, lovely.
If you can do questions and do that at the same time.
I can indeed.
Excellent. So Elaine says, do you have any tips for sewing with invisible thread, please?
Yes, I do. So if your machine, if you start using your thread and your machine grumbles slightly about the thread, so I'm just going to get my thread ready for stitching. Then if you're let me come to the front to show you. So on your sewing machine, if your thread lays like this on your spool, then your machine is grumbling a little bit, you should have an attachment where you can put your spool upright. Now that sometimes helps with the invisible thread but I haven't had that. I've had that problem on my older machine, but this machine that I use, I can have the thread that way or that way. It doesn't matter. The other thing is, do a slower stitch when you're stitching. So I'm quite a speedy sewer at times. I try not to be when I'm here, but I'm quite a speedy sewer. So again, this was my older machine, not this newer machine. If I went off like a rocket, the thread wouldn't like it. So just slow the speed down if your machine's grumbling a little bit, or put your spool the other way up. So they're top tips on invisible thread.
I think also with machines, especially if it's doing a zigzag, then slowing down is always a big help. Especially if it's got a specialist thread in, so that's a good one. Tanya is asking where is good to buy invisible thread. So is that something you've got available on your site, Nicola?
I have. I've got the YLI is my favourite. I've tried it out. I've used it on projects on a high heat on the iron. It doesn't melt. It doesn't break as much. It's a lovely thread to use. And I've actually got it on the sewing, the Secret Sewing Club section. It was a late edition because I managed to get some more stock. So that is on the Secret Sewing.
I will go and find that on your website, and I'll pop it up in just a second. But while I'm doing that, there's one more question here from Liz. She says, are the bags made the same way?
Are the bags made the same way?
Yes.
Yes, they can be made by hand or by machine. Let me come to the front again. I have made both of these because I had to make these quickly. I've made both of these on the machine. So these are, the binding is, let's try, I'm going to try something else. Bear with. How's that? No, you still can't see. There we go. So I machine stitch the binding and then I zigzag them together, but you can do it by hand as well. So you can hand stitch the binding and hand sew them together. So it's either or you could hand stitch the binding and machine stitch them together. It's entirely up to you. Whatever suits you better, you can do either on the bags. The only thing I do struggle with is this side seams. I struggle getting right into the point, so I tend to hand sew the last bit on the side seams.
Right, I have managed to find your website and get that up. So if you're all right for a second, I will go and show people exactly where that invisible thread is. So if you use the QR code that's on the screen when Nicola's demonstrating, that will take you to here, which is the Secret Sewing Club section on the website, and everything that Nicola is showing you today will be here. And there you go, the YLI Wonder Invisible Nylon Thread, that is on there as well. So that is exactly where you can find it. There you go. It's back to you just to finish off that. Was it a diamond we've got this time, or was it I saw diamonds and hexagons before, and I'm not sure which one you're doing now.
No, I'm doing the diamond and hand stitching. Let's go to the Zoom and I can show you how I stitch. It's like doing a binding on a normal quilt. So I'm taking the needle, I'm going through the top fabric, I'm going into the wadding as well, but I'm not coming out onto the back side. Some people can stitch like that and come through to the back of the quilt. But my stitching isn't good enough really. So I just like to go and thread my needle through the top fabric, through into the wadding and up through the binding. Now going through the wadding actually makes it a quilt as you go because you're catching the wadding in place. So I get quite a lot of questions saying, oh, do I need to quilt in the centre to keep the wadding in place? No, you don't, because you're catching the wadding as you sew. Now, I'm quite glad I got to this corner because this is the same angle as on the hexagon and it's self-miters on this corner. And what I do on the corner is I just go through and I catch and I just pop my needle through the loop. Oh, I don't know if you can see that. And it creates a little knot there. And then I just carry on sewing as normal.
Okay, while you're heading down that other side, June says, is there a pattern on how to do the bags? I'm guessing, yes, absolutely, it is on your website. So let me just switch to that again, and I will quickly show you where they are. It is just here. So when you bring up the Secret Sewing Club section on Nicola's website, which is daisyandgrace.com, they are right there, kind of first 3 that you'll see. I think there is a template set, and I think you've got bag kits as well. So you've got kind of 2 different options on that one.
Yeah, I mean, if you're an avid quilter, you might have a lot of your own fabrics. In that case, you only need the templates, which come with the pattern and the bag handle. The bag handle I actually do slightly different. So I'm going to come back to the front and show you. I do these bag handles so that they look like a leather bag handle. So I've got the V here, and then it's not very good showing you on black, but then I joined them. I should have thought, shouldn't I? I didn't really.
Do you know what? It's all right. We'll if it's all right with you, we'll jump back together, because you've got a blue one in the background there, and that's maybe something you can show us how to do next time round. And we've usually got some space at the end for little demos as well, haven't we? We're never usually short, are we?
No.
Oh, they're all back. They've been so good this week. I had Lorraine and Jeff last week, and they just kept wandering off. Just, gone. But there we go. Hang on a second. Everybody's back in the room. Everybody's mic is on. Just got to unmute a couple of people. Bear with, callers. So many windows on so many computers. There we go. We're back in the room. So thank you for that, Nicola. There's a lot of tea chat going on here. There's a lot of chat about what everybody's having for tea.
I popped a little comment on there saying, the topic of conversation was what are you having for dinner tonight, because we all needed some inspiration, and they are giving us inspiration. Honestly, it sounds like the best restaurant. All these meals that are happening. I'm so hungry now.
I know. We didn't really think this through. We thought, 5 till 8. That's a nice time. It'll get people when they're kind of, you just come back from work and they're doing this and that. No, it now has kind of scuppered everybody's dinner. It's fine. You can get your dinner and you just eat it while you're watching us. We don't mind. But it's kind of frowned upon to go the other way, I think, isn't it? But it is fine. Gail, you look like you're beavering away there.
I am. I just thought I'd use my time wisely. I've got my scissors out, got my felt, busy cutting and doing things. So using my time wisely, listening to you all.
Does this mean that it is the same as a couple of weeks ago when you had hurriedly got back from somewhere and haven't actually fully got your demos ready? I mean, I'm not calling you out on it, because we all do this. I'm still in the corridor, in between people doing stuff. I'm cutting the panels out.
No, I'll have you know that I am fully prepared.
Excellent.
I was just trying to make myself a little brooch, is what I was doing.
Were you inspired by Nicola's jewellery?
Yeah. So suck that comment back in, Hayley.
I know. Consider it sucked, girl. Consider it sucked.
You know me so well, though. You know me so well.
Do you know what, though? We've all done it. We've all had, especially when it was Create and Craft, we've all had those times where we've either gone through more demos than we planned, or something is selling better than something else, and we've had to quickly change something at the last minute. Yeah. So it's not unfamiliar territory to any of us.
No, my issue is I've normally got all the demos, but what happens when I've demonstrated something, rather than put everything away neatly, I just hurl it all into a bag. Yep. And then when somebody asks me to do it a second time, I see all these little pieces and I think, what was I thinking when I had all these little pieces? And then I have to try to put it all back together in some semblance of order, so I look like I'm organised. Because everybody out there, I think, as the misconception that we've all got our lives together and we're all organised. But
I think when it was on the telly, then it kind of looked like that. And now you see us just kind of sitting around chatting here. No.
Yeah.
This is fun though. We get to just demo what we want.
I think Nicola has, though. I think secretly Nicola's got it sorted.
Yeah, but
of
Nicola's
all of
always
us.
been very tidy and very organised,
Yeah,
does Nicola?
I think,
No, don't you remember at Create and Craft the havoc I'd wreak on my table? It was terrible.
Honestly, you do not want to see how bad that is over there.
do you know what we should all do?
This bit is clear.
At the end of it, we
That
should all
maybe
flip
we'll
the
all
cameras
fess up
round so
at
you
the
can see
end.
the chaos.
In the end, we'll all fess up and we can all just do a little.
Little camera flip at the
Maybe
end.
not. That would be like showing you my knicker drawer. That would be horrendous.
Now, have you turned into Sasha?
No, I can assure you I haven't.
Gail's fully covered. We're all good. We love you, Sasha. I know we do take the mick out of Sasha a little bit for flashing every time she comes on, but we do love her, and it wouldn't be the same without her. So
She enjoyed it. She
Sarah.
likes
Sasha's just commented as well, saying nobody was ever on a sample time limit like she was.
No. Oh yeah, I know exactly what she means,
Craft,
because
she'd come in an hour before and she had a box and she would have to make a demo literally 10 minutes before a show because she'd only just be given
because
the fabrics that were on the counter.
She had Fabric Freedom, and that was a company that I used to demonstrate for, and passed the baton to Sasha. And I did warn her at that point, you've got to be able to think on your feet because your stuff doesn't come. Literally, there's been a couple of times when I did that as well. Literally, you walk into the studio and your samples get delivered like an hour before you're due to go to air, and you've got to pull something together. So I know how she feels. Are you ready to go, Sarah?
Yeah, absolutely, my lovely. Yeah.
Excellent. Okay, well, I shall pass it over to you, and we can all contemplate Gail's knicker drawer while you do your demonstrations. It's all over to
you. We do have a giggle here, if nothing else. Smiling. Hello, my lovelies. I'm going to take you through some bits I've got on offer because this is our launch on the craft store and everything. The first time Secret Sewing Club has come on. All the items that I'm showing you tonight have all got 10% off as well. And I'm going to leave that on for 48 hours. So you'll be able to get an extra little discount on top of the prices were pretty good anyway, but there's an extra little discount. So I'm going to go over to the overhead over here. I'm going to show you some of the bits I've got. There we go. So I've got a load of different charm packs. Some of these are brand new. These have just come in. These would normally be $14.45, but I think with the discount, they're down to like £13. With any of the charm packs, if you buy any of these charm packs, I will also give you 2 free patterns as well. So we've got the Kaleidoscope cushion pattern and also the Time Flies quilt block pattern, which are both designed to go with charm packs, okay? So it doesn't matter which one you pick, you will get both patterns. If you pick more than one charm pack, I will give you 2 other patterns, so you get 4. So you don't get 2 the same. So we've got some really beautiful ones. This is called... this is the Bella Solids Bright, which is all the Bella Solids in the brand new colours, in the 2024 colours. So really bright and beautiful. We've got the new one from Canvas Troubles, which is Daisy Lane, which is all those lovely autumnal sort of Civil War colours. In fact, let me just come to the close-up and much easier for me to flick through then. Okay, so you've got all those ones there in Daisy Lane. Really pretty. This one I am secretly obsessed with. Well, it's not secretly at all. I'm telling everybody. It's the new one from Robin Pickens. It's called Serena Shores, and it is just beautiful. Absolutely. The colours in this are incredible. I absolutely love it. There's sort of little seashells in there. There's some agapanthus, which I learned the other day on my live. I didn't know what the flower was, and somebody told me. Some really beautiful, just gorgeous fabrics in that. I love that one. We've got Shine, which is a lovely sort of like spring-like Easter little floral ditzes. You've got some pink gingham in there. Really pretty florals. Goes through little tiny chicks and birds on that one, and then through to your greys. A little bit of script all the way through. I love this one. That little hearts and dots is so cute. Another new one, Farmstead, which is, again, all sort of animals. You've got a bit of gingham in there. Really, some cherries, all sorts in there. Really, really cute one. But again, you can see these better on the website. This one Sarah Jane is obsessed with. It's called Chirp. And it's, again, you've got brilliant stripes in there. Florals, all little birdies and bees and dragonflies, but in really beautiful sort of taupes and peaches and Air Force blues. This is the Bella Solids, but this is the cozy range rather than brights. And this is a rainbow, but it's in much sort of like more muted tones, which again, really, really pretty. And then the last one, again, literally came into the shop last week. It's called Callie & Co. This is a Cory Yonder one from Coriander Quilts, and it's a stunning bright rainbow of colours with all lots of teeny tiny, that little cherry on there is gorgeous, little florals and all the different colours. Okay, so we've got all those different charm packs for you to choose from, and like I said, they've already got 10% off them, plus you would get your 2 patterns as well. I've also got a couple of little kits for you. So Sarah Jane is saying she goes away for a few days and I give the stock away. Yes, I am. I'm doing some massive deals. So thread catchers are something that some of you might have made before. But these are great if you're doing, if you've got, you need them all over the place, a thread catcher. You need them on your sofa if you're hand sewing to keep all your bits in. They're also great for keeping remote controls and your sweet papers. They are weighted with sand, but you can put sand or rice in them. And this becomes your pin cushion, but also holds it on the arm of the chair or your sewing table. And so we've done some little kits up in these. We've got it in the purple, the peach, the pink, you've got the green, the turquoise, and the grey. And you've got your pattern, you've got your fabric you need. You can actually make 2 out of the fabric that's in there with some careful cutting. You've also got your calico in there for your sandbag, and you've got the stiffener as well, which is in there somewhere. I can't see it, and I'll get it out in a minute. There's the stiffener, which goes around the top of the thread catcher to actually hold it all open. Okay. So they were $12.99, but they've got 10% off. We have one of these lovely little things. So this is a Moda cut and sew panel, and it makes this gorgeous, gorgeous little monkey backpack, which is just lovely. He's got all these bananas on the front, on the inside, and there's also a little banana pencil case with it. Okay, this would be gorgeous if you've got like kids to go to school or after school club or nursery, something like that. It comes as a panel and everything you need is on the panel. Okay, you don't need anything else. There's no more, well, actually that's a lie. You need a zip. You do need a zip for your pencil case, but all the pieces, your straps, everything are on the panel. So it's quite hard to see when it's all folded. So I thought if I open this out, you can see all of the bits are on there. Okay, like that. Actually, come over to the big overhead. Here we go. You've got all them pre-cut, so you're just going to cut this out. They're all the right size. You've also got your full instructions. Sorry, let's just flip this round. You've got full instructions on there as well. Okay, so you can just follow along with your pattern and you've got everything there. Okay, so there's that one. Let's get rid of that one out of the way. And then my next little one, I'm just going to go back to the front face in a minute. Can you see this really pretty bunting behind me? The lovely Anne made that for me. She did all that for me, and that's what's in this next kit. So this is Lewis and Irene. It's called Nature Trail. Okay, and it's got 16 pennants on it, like that. So you can see you've got 16 different designs. You've got that little the little deer, got a really cute little hedgehog there. There we go. There's got foxes there as well, all sorts going on there. So you've got 16 pennants in the kit, as well as this beautiful, hoping you can see the shine on this. This is a Bumbleberries cord nut, which has got a copper foiling on it. So you're getting 1/2 meter of that, which is enough to do the back of the pennants. But frankly, I would keep this because for the back of the pennants of the bunting, you could just put some calico or something. And I'd keep this for something else because it makes it very posh. And we've also put in some bias binding for you. You've got 4 meters of bias there. Okay, so that's the next kit. And then what else have I got to show you? Oh, this one. This is the big one. So this is a fat quarter bundle, this is Alison Glass, and it's called Soliloquy, which I can't say. I have to really think about it every time. Soliloquy. And you can see you've got this most stunning range. There's 20 fat quarters in here. Okay. It was £78. We put it down to £50, but you've got another 10% off this. Okay. So it's an absolute bargain. Got 20 fat quarters. It ranges from these beautiful black and whites. You've got a little bit of newsprint. Let me just open this up, actually. We have a little look, and then we'll get to a demo. So you've got the most stunning sort of like pictorial designs on here, and all these different ones in different colours. You've got little like equations and all on there. You can see it better on the blue one, actually. Looks like little math equations. You've got stunning music. You know, if anybody reads music, is this an actual tune? I don't know if you can read that, but if it's an actual little tune, I'd love to know. You've got the music ones in different ones. You've got beautiful lettering in these three. You've got then different style of lettering in the next ones. You can see the colours are incredible. We've got a yellow one in that, and then you've got this one, which has got like sort of, I think it's like Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday letters on it, and then the phases of the moon, and that's in different ones as well. And then you've got your two newsprints, one which is a cream on cream, and then you've got the black on white. Okay, so that is a 20-piece fat quarter bundle. Okay, all of this you should be able to hopefully find in the secret sewing bit of our website. Right, let's do a little demo. What I thought we'd do is we'd go have a little look at doing the Time Flies quilt block, which you'll get free with any of the charm packs if you buy them. Okay, so I've already done a few so that we're not sewing for ages, but you will need for each block, okay, you will need 4 charm squares, which are 5 inches, okay, by 5 inches. You will need 8 2.5-inch squares in a background fabric, whatever you choose to go with it. You'll need 4 1.5 by 5-inch strips, and you're going to need just one little centerpiece, a little accent piece, which is 1.5-inch squares. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to snowball this block. All right, so it's a nice easy technique if you're new to quilting, if maybe you do a little bit of sewing and stuff, but you don't necessarily do quilting or patchwork. This is a really lovely easy block to do, because as you know, I don't do complicated. I can do complicated, I just choose not to. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to draw a diagonal line across the back of my background squares, the 2.5-inch ones. So go corner to corner. Sarah Jane, if you're looking, these are our new erasable pens. These are fabric safe, and they've got little sewing machines on them. They are on the website if anybody wants them. There we go. Sarah Jane has been away this week, so she hasn't seen all the new stuff that's been in. There we go. So I've just done the diagonal lines on those. We're going to put these right sides together with our charm square. I'm going to start in the top left with my line going that way. And then this one's going to go in the bottom right, like that, again, with my diagonal line. So you want to make sure that the lines are going the same way, okay? So make sure that it's very easy to get it all muddled up, okay? So make sure that your diagonal lines are parallel to each other. We're going to pin those in place, and then we're going to go and stitch them. So has anybody got any questions or comments? Please do let us know.
Oh,
I'm trying to keep an eye on the Facebook comments, but I can't do both at the same time. I'm not that clever. So we're going to pop over to the machine here.
Hang on.
I've tried to put a new line in.
Hello. I can't give you any questions at the minute because I'm busy trying to arrange a special guest.
Oh, secrets.
Secret special guest. So I will come back to you with questions in a minute.
That's all right, no problem.
I'll come back
That's
to you
fine.
with questions in a sec.
I'll keep half an eye out. Right, all I'm going to do, so it says to stitch on the line, but a little tip is that to stitch the other side of the line, okay? So you're going to run the needle along the drawn line, not directly on the line. It gives you a teeny tiny bit of wiggle room, which means that your snowball blocks aren't too short, because sometimes they can be. Sometimes if you sort of accidentally go this side of the line, then when you fold the fabric out, it's not big enough. So run your needle along the line rather than directly on it. Okay. We're going to go around that side and then we're going to go down here. There we go. So 2 lines of straight stitching to start with. Really, really easy. Okay. And then we're going to go back over to the overhead so you guys can see how to square this up. There we go. So first things first, before you cut anything, check that this is right, okay? Because once you trim this off, you can't undo it. So we're just going to do that and make sure, yes, it's right, okay? They're both going the right way as I want them to be. So before we iron it, trim that off. Now you can do this with rotary cutter, a ruler, or just with your scissors. It really doesn't matter. You're going to trim off about 1/4 of an inch. So you've left with a little seam allowance, both sides. Okie doke. Oh, there are lots and lots of lots and lots of comments, but I can't. You're going too fast for me to read them and iron, so I'll catch up later with those.
I'll be on it in
there
a
we go.
second.
So I've set my stitches first, and then we're going to just slowly finger press that first, and then press. Okay, the sort of gentler you are at this point, and the more thorough you are when you're pressing, the better your blocks will come out. All right. What I'm going to do now is that should be 5 by 5, but as always happens, you can see there's just a little bit wonkiness here. So I'm going to square it up. It's worth doing this extra little step just to make sure that everything's trimmed down as it should be. And sometimes they go perfect and there's absolutely nothing to come off. Oh, look, it's dust, teeny bit of dust to come off that side. And then other times it's gone a weeny bit wonky and you've got a little bit more to come off. Like that side there. Okay, so there you go. You can see there's a little tiny bit more on that one. You're going to make 4 of these. Okay, so you're going to take, I've already done the other 3, exactly the same method. So you're going to take 4. Okay, and this is where you can start playing around with the block. Now, if you want to do it as the pattern, you're going to turn these. You're going to make a little 4 patch like this, and you're going to turn each one so they become almost like sort of butterfly wings or petals. It's that kind of feel. Okay, so we're going to put the block together like that. You could, if you wanted to, just put all of your blocks the same way. That it doesn't matter. That makes a nut something in its own right as well. You see, you can actually put them together like that as well. But we're going to do it as per the pattern this time. People who watch me know that I'm very much a what if girl. What if I do this? What if I do that? Nothing ever quite stays the same.
Right.
We're going to put the little...
If you're ready, Sarah, I can give you some questions. Or I'll tell you what, get this together so you can just be on the sewing machine and then I'll dish out some questions. How's that?
Okie doke. Fabulous.
Okay.
There we go. Like that. So we're going to lay it out like that. Okay. We're going to stitch that one to that one to that one. And the same at the bottom. And then we're going to stitch those together in the middle. All right. So I'm going to go to the machine and try and answer your questions at the same time. We'll try and be clever like that.
Go for it. So
okay,
I've got Sarah saying big thank you to Sarah for your disappearing nines demo the other week. She's just completed her first ever patchwork block using diagonal cuts.
Oh, that's amazing. Well done, lovely. And I'm so glad you did it. That's great. Don't forget to put any pictures in the Gigglers, which is the Giggle of Geckos is our social page. And if you're not a member there, please do join up because so many people share pictures and help each other out. It's lovely. So,
right, we've had Karen on saying she's got 4 charm packs and bunting and she's going to have great fun with them.
Oh, amazing. Karen, if you've bought that many charm packs, I'll make sure all the patterns are different for you.
No problem. Hang on, I've got so many. I'm trying to catch up with them all. There's one saying that we are clearly having a ball and they're very happy for us for being on the craft store.
Fab.
And what she what I need to remind people as well, which is very rightly pointed out, is that we're also on YouTube. So if you want to watch the Secret Sewing Club on your big telly rather than on your phone or your tablet through Facebook, then you can do that. You just need to go to YouTube And Dan and I will be doing some videos later on when it comes nearer the time to proper launch. We're just a little tester. We're a little appetizer is what we are.
We're the teas.
Yes. So
we're the teas.
We will be on the main kind of YouTube, so you can get it up on your big telly, and we will be doing you some videos on how to do that. But if you are looking for it, it is The Craft Store. Now, there are two. If you go onto YouTube and you look, you need to find the one with 102,000 subscribers. That's the right one. And once you've found it, you just click on the live section and you'll find us. We'll pop straight up there.
Fabulous. Right, I'm nearly done with this block. So I'm just putting the centre bit together, and then I'll just show you how to iron them to put them together so it all nests nicely. So, because this is, like I said, it's a very, very simple little block to do. So here we go. Right, so I'm always going to iron towards these white pieces, okay? Those are the white strips. So just make sure that I always tend to finger press, because they're, especially if they're skinny little bits like this. So I'm finger pressing that seam towards the white strip. So there's my centre bit. And then here are my blocks. And again, I'm going to press it inwards towards that seam.
Sarah?
Yeah?
Jean's come up with a great tip here. She says,
right.
If you're watching on Facebook with your headphones in, your hubby can't hear if you're buying anything.
Is that our Jean Baker?
It is Jean Baker.
Oh, Jean, my lovely. Poor Jean fell recently and she's broken her arm and dislocated her elbow.
No.
So she can't sew at the moment, love her.
Oh, well, she can watch us sew, though.
So we're
just join in. There's obviously nothing wrong with that texting finger.
Absolutely. So yeah, we're sending her big crafty, well, gentle crafty hugs, definitely. Okay. But yeah, no, that's a really good tip. Absolutely, put your headphones in, and then hubby can't hear. Also can't hear about Gail's knicker drawer, you know. Right, what we're going to do now is, so because I've ironed them towards the white pieces, so they're going in that way, out that way, in that way, it means they'll nest beautifully. So that one's going to come over like that. And all I'm doing is just, you kind of rub them with your finger, sort of do that with your fingers. You can feel them lock in, and pop a pin in there. It's one of the few times I use pins, because we all know I'm very lazy about pins. Okay, and then I'm going to stitch all the way down there, and we'll pop that one on the other side. Again, it'll nest in, and your block's done. So I'll go back over here. Very quick bit of stitching. Like that. So down we go. All the way. When I get to that little bit of nest in there, I just lift it just to make, so I can see that that seam is still where it should be. Again, with that one, make sure that it's lying as it should. So it's very easy for the bottom ones to get a little bit unruly. They go all over the place. Like that, all the way down. And I'm just going to quickly put the other side on, and we can whip those pins out. I'm just going to finger press that one for now rather than taking it back to the board. That one's going to go on like that. I'm going to just pop a pin in there, hold that nest down. I'll do the other one as we go, and the block is done. So then after you've done this one, you would just get your next 4 charm squares and do exactly the same. And then the next 4, and you keep going until before you know it, you've got a quilt. Okay, just line that back up. That. There we go. All the way down. Now, somebody asked me in the shop today about charm packs, about where you measure, because obviously they have these little perforated edges, where they measure from to make the 5 inches. And it does vary on charm pack to charm pack. It really does. Some charm packs, it will be from the peak of the point, and others it'll be from the valley of the point of the little perforated bit. So it's always worth just double checking before you start sewing. Just get your ruler out and measure it first, so you can tell where you're lining stuff up from. You know, am I lining up to the, I don't know if you guys can see, am I lining up to the peak, you know, the very point here, or am I lining up to the valley? Now this one was the Bella Solids Brights. it was to the peak. That's where my 5-inch was. Oh, hang on. No, I'm doing that the wrong way. Sorry, guys. Trying to get that seam the right way.
I've got somebody asking about how do they get the extra 10% discount?
Oh, yeah. Somebody's saying, how do you get a code for the extra 10% discount? It's already on the website. I've done it automatically. You should be able to see what the original price was on the website, and then next to it, it'll actually say the discounted price. So there's not an extra code. I've already automatically taken it off for you. You should be able to see on there. I don't know if Hayley, if you could maybe just pop to the website so people can see that.
Yep, just give me 2 seconds and I will absolutely do that for you.
So there's my little block, all done. Okay, that's the Bella Solids Brights one. And I don't know if you guys can see the little quilt in the background there. That was, again, done in the Time Flies with a different charm pack. It's an older quilt. It's not one that we've got anymore, that charm pack. But you can see they all come together. I think that was only about half a charm pack that made that little sample. So, you can get some really lovely patterns and play around with it as well. It doesn't necessarily always have to be the same way. So.
Right, absolutely. I can go and have a look on your website for you and show everybody exactly where all of those lovely things are. So, let me just, I don't think it's refreshed itself, so just give me a second, because it's going to be one of those. Oh, I know what I've done. Right. I've got about 3 different browsers open. Because are
you on mission control again? Is that it?
Yeah. I'm just permanently in mission control now. It's not my happy place, it's my complicated place. So if you just put in whitegeckocraftlounge.co.uk, it will bring you to here. If you use the QR code, it will take you to here, which is the Secret Sewing Club category. So all of the things that Sarah is showing you today will be on there. There are those Farmstead and Chirp charm packs. You've got a load of Best Press on there. There's the Bella Solids one that she's just been using. You've got the Brights and the Cozy colours in there as well. Again, more of those charm packs. And you can see there the discount has already been added on for you. So you can see she's already done the maths for you. You don't have to worry about it. Everything is already on there. So that's where you'll head to if you use that whitegeckocraftlounge.co.uk website address, or if you can use a QR code, that will take you straight there as well. There you go, little update.
Thank you.
No problem. Shall I go and grab everybody else?
Yeah, let's get everybody else back.
Okay. Well,
there's enough of me for now. I'll come back later.
Fair enough. I have everybody else, but then I also have a sneaky extra guest, which I have made another scene for. You ready?
You're going to keep him waving for how long?
Yeah. I'm not going to turn his mic on. I'm just going to leave him in the middle waving like that. Yes, so we have the lovely Mr. Humphreys, who has come to join us, and for a couple of reasons. One, just is here just for the crack and to find out more about Gail's knicker drawer. There's no bombs. There's just a well, we're just having a lovely time to ourselves. Isn't it? Do you like this? Do you just want to pop into all the secret sewing clubs now, just for some banter?
Nostalgia. Yeah, really well, thank you. Very well. Yourself?
No, you've just come with some information. Gail, you need to go that way a bit, towards the window. Other way. Perfect. There you go. Now we're properly Brady bunched. Yes. So it isn't. Oh.
Adam, they're saying that. Sorry.
Okay, I'll switch it back to everybody and
They're
I'll see
saying
if
they
I
can't
can't
hear you.
sort that out. Hang on.
I can hear you.
Bear with, Paula.
I interpret for you.
I can fix this. I can fix this. Don't worry.
How are you? I know.
Stop being weird.
Okay, well, hopefully.
Right, that should have fixed it.
Can see my big announcement and you mute me.
Now he's shouting and he's
just keeping an eye on the comments.
I can turn it all down.
Right, try that now. He should be there.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Can you all hear me? Over and out.
My fault. Sorry.
That you've got on here. Adam, we can't hear you. They're still saying, but there is a delay. Oh, here we go.
Yeah, there you go. Now they can. Now they can hear you.
Didn't take back in the room. It was my fault. I'm very sorry.
I'll start the patter again, to be honest. I said I'm not going to stay long. I've got a pork chop in the air fryer and some chips.
So I must go and. Before.
Was it? I can't remember what I put in. It was in the freezer. I debagged it. It's in a freezer bag, so I ain't got a clue what it actually is. I know it's a chop of some sort, and some skinless sausages I've got in tonight before my live. But I'm here to tell you about the Secret Sewing Club day retreat in Staffordshire at the Hawksyard Estate. Now, there is accommodation around and about. There are travel lodges and this, that, and the other. What it actually is, it's with the Secret Sewing Club and it's with Creative Hideaway. Now, Creative Hideaway is a little sideline company that is up and running, and it's me behind it. Is what it is. So it's me behind it. So it's me you ring. It's me you speak to. It's me that will phone you and talk to you. It's on the 12th of April. Now, there are a few spaces left for this one. They are limited spaces. As it's the first one, we've kept it to small numbers, to be perfectly honest. So there are a few spaces left. Now, let's get through the details. It's on the 12th of April is what you're looking at in Staffordshire. There's hotels dotted around the area as well. We went for the centre of the country, sort of the Midlands area, because it's easy for everyone to get to. We fought for the first one, and then we will start branching out. If they work, we will branch them out to other places as well. I was speaking to someone the other day who wants them over in Norfolk, who's living in Great Yarmouth and wants them that side of the country. If it works, we'll do it. Now, what it actually is, it's everything you need. Everything you need. The only thing you need to provide is your sewing machine, sewing threads, rotary cutter, and your general sewing equipment is what you need to bring. Everything else will be supplied by either Daisy and Grace and Nicola, who's here. Hayley and Craft Yourself Silly are there as well. Sarah's there from White Gecko, and author Anthea, who's on a jolly holiday at the moment over in India. All four of them will be there. I will be there as well. There are big 43-inch monitors with webcams on, so you haven't even got to get up from your desk to gather around the tables at the front. This will all be done for you. It works out to be £62.50 a class is what you are looking at to get everything you need, which is a bargain. Let's be fair. £62.50 for everything. Now, I don't know. Don't correct me if I'm wrong. There'll be some hand sewing going on. I think Nicola, Daisy, and Grace are doing a little bit of hand embroidery. I may be wrong.
Everybody else back in for you, so they
that
can
you've got on this one.
Or deny.
There'll be loads of things coming up. So altogether, it's £250. But there is a caveat with this, which I think we're the only company that do it this way. If you can't afford it, just tell me. And we will work it out. If it's something, I spoke to a lady the other day as well, and I do ring you up occasionally if we're struggling. And she said, I'd love to come, Adam, but I haven't got the money. It's January, I haven't got the money, but I would love to come. I said, that's fine. How much, let's break this down from April the 12th to now, and this was a couple of weeks ago. How much can you afford in your budget? She said, Adam, I can afford about 20 quid a week, but that ain't going to get me anywhere. I said, you know what? It's me you're dealing with, so let's do it. Let's set up £20 a week, and I will send you an email every week just saying, if you're ready, these are the details again. So there is no budget. So you haven't got to spend it all out all at once, which I think is good. We can go to your budget, even if the last payment is on the day. I really don't mind. I just want you to enjoy yourself. And that's what we're here for. We want you to enjoy yourself. We want you to get into the wonderful world of crafting. And we want you to try everyone's brands. Where else could you try 4 brands for £62.50 a shot? I don't think you could. With the tutors there as well to hold your hand and to guide you. Small rooms, i.e. small class groups, so you're not in a big group of people. You won't have to move from anywhere as well. The tutors will move to you. Oh, there's also a finger buffet lunch as well with free tea and coffee all day. Unlimited tea and coffee. That was a good bargaining tip that I did there. Unlimited tea and coffee throughout the day. Some of them, when you go to this, you have to pay £2 a cup of tea. Yeah, £2 a cup. I said, I ain't having that. I drink more than that in a day. So it's unlimited tea and coffee. There'll be a tea urn in every room. I know, what a selling feature. There'll be a tea urn in every single room that you've got this way. Big 43-inch TVs with cameras, so you haven't got to move from your area. So once you are set up, you are set up. Now, how do I know there's all this equipment is there? Because I tested all the equipment yesterday. My living room and lounge now, it's like, it's a haven for the PlayStation. I'm loving it. It's like a surround sound. 4 43-inch TVs in a bag. It's amazing. So I've got them all. Everything is up and running. The only things you need to bring, as I said, is the sewing machine, sewing threads, a rotary cutter, your general sewing equipment, and drop me an email. You can go. Everything is on the Creative Hideaway website. All the W's, creativehideaway.co.uk. Any emails that you send through there will come to me. And 9 times out of 10, if I'm not busy, I'll answer them there and then. I thank you.
But you've also forgot, we've added little pop-up shops as well.
It's the only thing I didn't add to my notes. There are also...
You did very well, though.
I'll do it now with my dinosaur pen, Molly's dinosaur pen that I found earlier on my desk. There are also pop-up shops, so if you want anything...
We've all got silly pens.
Indeed. If you want to buy anything that you maybe see on here, or you see any of the girls bringing to you, they'll also be selling them there as well. So throughout the day, there'll be pop-up shops that will be open from the minute you arrive to the minute you leave. It is all disabled friendly as well. I'm just there as a runner. So if you need anything lifting, carrying, I'm trying to get my hands on the keys to the golf buggy so I can run you around the building, because there is a golf buggy. If you park in the other car park, Sarah, it'd be amazing. I think we're all on the golf buggy.
That's our Instagram post.
If you park in the lower car park, I will get someone. I have people these days. I will get someone to bring you up on the golf buggy. But if you can't afford the £250, and this is the main point, if your budget won't stretch to it at the moment, and you think I'd love to have a go. I would love to have a little go, just spend the day. Yes, there's travel lodges around there. I can give you all the information you need for those as well. There's not a problem at all. Just get in contact with me and we'll work something out between us. To me, we're the only events company that does this that will work to you. I don't want no one missing out whatsoever. So you get in contact. I'll be in touch. That's it, really.
Well, we've decided at Craft Yourself City what we're doing. We're going to give everybody, one of our... This is a new one, by the way. I shall show this one a little later. What's it called in Welsh? Welsh people?
Ooh. I'm English. I live here. I'm English, though, love.
Oh, lovely panel.
Oh,
I think it is.
It's a wibbly wobbly. It's a wibbly wobbly. I know that one.
It's like microwave wibbly wobbly, isn't it? So yeah, we've got some new ones. I'm going to show you a few new ones a little bit later on. But thank you very much, Adam, because I know you've got a live at about 7 o'clock.
7:30 I go live, all round mine is 7:30. Nicola, Gail, I will be in touch next week. I want you to come on. I know this is a shameless plug, but I want you to come on as well. But I'm a bit busy this week, but I'm going to get you on for next week together. We'll get on together. We'll do a sewing one together.
Lovely.
Okay.
Is that all right?
Yeah,
Sounds
perfect.
very
You can
enthusiastic,
say
Gail.
no. You can say no, by the way. I don't mind. It's not. This is not a ransom thing because we're live. I thought if I ask them now, I can't say no. I'll be in touch though.
Oh,
Right,
they can.
I'm gonna.
Don't worry.
Yeah, you can.
They
You can say no.
definitely say no.
I'm
right.
going to go for my lamb chop, pork chop, and skinless sausages with chips. And if anyone needs me, you know where I am.
All right. See you later.
Love you all. Love you. Bye.
We're staying, but bye, Adam.
Oh yeah, he's gone. I've got rid of him. Ruthless button pressing. Ruthless button pressing. So, Gail, I believe it's you next.
Aha.
I'm just having I missed the beginning. Where are the classes going to be? That's fine. I'll answer. Sarah, I know you'll help me out with some Facebook questions. Perfect. Yeah. She's on it. So, Gail, it is over to you. And I believe you've got some new friends to show us.
Yes. So, what I was thinking, I did a little bit of Easter the last time with the Secret Sewing Club, but I'm aware, obviously by the numbers and that, we've got lots of new people that are joining us. So welcome to all the new people. It's lovely to see you, sort of virtually see you. And so I wanted to continue with my Easter theme for this show. And then moving on, the next time I'll have left Easter behind. I know, you know what it's like with us, Hayley. We have to just keep on moving on all the time, don't we?
Oh, it's relentless. It's relentless.
Yeah.
It's summer. We do summer things in winter and winter things in summer, and
I know.
It's all over the place.
People are already mentioning Christmas, and I'm like,
the C word.
Yeah. So. With my Easter theme in mind, I did the Okie Dokie, which was my Easter gnome. My autumn gnome, and then I did a Christmas gnome, Holly Jolly. So these are my Easter come spring ones. So this is Petal with his little butterfly on his snoz, and some little butterflies and lots of flowers. Now there's a pattern and a kit for this. Okay, I'll show you briefly in a second what's in the kit. But the pattern covers you to make both. So this is Sprout. So I'll just move them up and down so you can sort of see them because they are quite long. So the pattern will give you the instructions to make both, but the kit, you choose one or the other. So you've got Petal or you've got Sprout. So I'll do a little demo for those in a second. So they're one of the things that I want to show you. Also want to quickly show you as well the springtime wreath. So we've got this little springtime gnome wreath. The good thing about this wreath, from my point of view, I think the good thing is I made it with little eggs on the top, which sort of makes it sort of Eastery with these little Easter eggs here as well. But then I changed it up with putting hearts on there. And hearts at the top. So again, the pattern gives you the instruction to either do the one with the hearts, so that could be all year round, or you can do the one with eggs, or you could do a combination of both. And you could also, because once you've got the pattern, you can just make the little gnomes on their own. And if you've not already joined my Facebook group, so that's the Endless Threaders on Facebook, a lovely lady on there made all these in Christmassy colours with little red legs and little green hats and that, little poinsettias in there on their hats. So you can change them up as well for other seasons. So I'm going to share some other things with you when I do my second demo, but something else I want to show you. I'll show you better on the overhead camera. These are the little Easter gift tags. So they can either be used as a gift tag. I like them actually hanging on an Easter tree. So there's a little kit for that as well. I'll give you a few more details on that, and also a set of acrylic templates if you need some templates. So the other bits and pieces I'll show you when I come to the next demo as well. Have a look on the website. There's under the Secret Sewing Club page, or if you look at on the category on the website with Easter, it will also show you all the other Easter projects, all these things that are behind me. And
do you want me to show them your website? Or
you
do you
can
save that till the end.
I'll leave it till the end then,
Okay,
and then I thank you, Hayley. And then just one or two other things to share. Some of the items have got discounts on them. Some of them, if you combine like Trevor and Tracy and Tina and Terry, the little bunnies and that, if you buy the 2 patterns together, there's a discount. And also for every order that I send out, so if you order today and for the next few days, because some of you are watching this on catch up because you've got busy lives, I will put a free Easter pattern in with every order. So so there'll be random patterns. Obviously, the pattern won't be the same thing as if you've bought something Easter. I won't give you another pattern with the same Easter project, but I'll pop a little Easter pattern in there as a thank you for joining us and a sort of a celebration for us being together. So I'm just going to put you on the overhead so we can just have a quick look at the kits a little bit closer. So just as I scoot across. So the gift tags, the Easter gift tags, in your pattern and kit, you will have the instructions to make the egg, the heart, and the flower. So all the templates are in there for all 3. All the felts are in there. Okay, and the fabric is in there as well for the to do the red works, or you could do it in multicolor. Also the string, the little bows that I used, and the made with love charms. And there's enough in here to make at least 6 tags. If you're a little bit economical, then trust me, you can get more than 6 out of there. But I say 6 to be on the safe side. So that's your kit. Also, I haven't done them before, but I decided to do them this year. I have got the templates. I will be honest, I bought an amount of these, and once they're gone, they will be gone. So you get the egg template, and the reason I've given you the inner and the outer, okay, so lots of people ask me why I didn't just give you the template like this, because this is the bit you actually need to make the tag. The reason I give you the inner and the outer is when you come to draw around them, okay, because I often use freezer paper, and there is freezer paper in your kit. If you put a template on a piece of paper and you're trying to hold it to draw around there or to cut around there, you've only got a narrow piece to hold on to. So by giving you the middle as well, so I'm sliding that around, by giving you the center as well, when you come to draw around the outside, it's a lot easier because you can just hold on. You've got a bigger area to hold on to. And also you've got another little template. So you can buy the templates separately. So you've got the egg, the heart, and the flower. I'll just pop them on there so you can see them a little bit clearer. Things you can do with them, they're great if you use glitter felt. I've stitched this with invisible thread as well. Nicola had invisible thread earlier, the YLI. I use YLI. I also use Superior, but to be honest, both of them are as good as each other. I can't recommend one over the other. The YLI is lovely. So they work well with glitter felt. You can also just use them as templates for like little frames if you wanted to put photographs and things in there. And you can also use it, I don't know where I've put them, but you can also just use it for applique. So if you wanted to cut out little flower shapes for applique, you know, just trace it onto heat and bond and then cut out flowers or hearts or whatever. They're just a nice little template set if you need them. So that's the templates and that. Let me just quickly show you. So for the springtime gnome kit, you get a full kit for this as well. I quickly just open one so you can have a little look. It comes in 4 different colours. So you either get a blue gnome, a yellow gnome, a pink, or a grey. So this one, let me see, is a pink one. So you've got all your fleece and that's to cover the ring. Okay, you've got the fabric for his nose, you've got his fur, there's stripy fabric for his legs, the fleece for the body, and then again you've got your ring, and then you've got all the lovely felts. Obviously you've got the pattern, And then, like I said earlier, the pattern gives you the instructions for both of the wreaths. So either the one with the eggs or the hearts. So that's the gnome pattern. You just move that. And then, so finally, the two kits that I'm just going to show you, the last two kits. This is for petal and sprout. You move those. We've got the full kits for those. Just here. And I'll just open the one kit. You can see with the sprout one, you've got all the lovely fur. His fur for his beard is fantastic. You've got all your orange fleece and everything in there. And then we'll just open petal out so you can see. You've got the brown fleece for the nose. You've got the lemon fleece. This is for the underside. You've got the lilac fleece. This is all for the hat. And then in the pattern, these are the important pieces. I think you've got 6 sheets of felt. So you've got all lovely colour, spring colour felts. And then you've got what I class as the most important part, which is 2 sheets of pre-printed freezer paper. And this you can just cut out, iron straight onto your felt, and then that way you can cut out all the flowers. Makes it super quick and super easy for you. For those of you who didn't see the gnomes I did before, this is one of them. This was the Christmas one, and I also did an autumn one. They are on the website, but sort of hidden in the depths. Okie dokie.
Gail, I've got somebody asking, saying they love the glitter felt. Is that available on your website as well?
Yes, it is. I think there's some. I think it's on the Secret Sewing Club page, and they're the packs of glitter felt. But I do also sell it as individual sheets as well.
So if they just go onto your site and search for glitter felt, they'll be able to find it there.
If you just put in glitter in the search part, it'll come up. The packs are the most economical way to buy it, because you get sort of 14 sheets for the price of 10. But you can either buy packs or you can buy it individually. So this is where the inspiration for the spring one came from, the Christmas and the autumn one. So I'm just going to shift all of that out of the way. Last night I did quite an extensive demo on petal, so I'm just going to recap on a few pointers from doing petal last night. So in your kit you're going to have a pattern piece to join. You'll see a join line. You just sellotape it together. It's pretty self-explanatory. From I couldn't fit all the pattern on one sheet. Your lemon fleece. So those of you who've worked with me before will know that I like to pin patterns to the fleece. So with that in mind, look at the size of the piece of fleece that you've got, okay, and look at your pattern piece. If you want to be a little bit economical with it and you want to use your fleece for other projects, we're not really worrying about how the stretch is on the fleece for this project. So you can always turn your pattern to one side if you would like to, like so. Pin your pattern in place like this, and then you've got all this excess fleece that you can use for other projects. And then what I ask you to do is to sew around the pattern, okay, but not through the pattern, leaving the bottom edge open. Now I've done one on a smaller scale so that you can see how I did it. So you can see I've pinned the pattern on, I've stitched around there. We can see from the other side, and then I cut the pattern, I cut the piece out. I leave it with about a 1/4 inch seam allowance. It doesn't really matter. You don't have to be that accurate. And that you're going to do the same thing with the lilac one. And in the pattern, you'll see it. What I did with the lilac again was, as I showed you, I rotated the pattern slightly to one side. That way it gives me all this excess fleece left. And the reason for the excess fleece is that I need to use it later for the hat brim. So that's what I used all this excess for. So just wanted to show you that the kit has got lots of fabric in there, so you don't have to worry and be really economical. I know with some kits, you really are worrying about every single millimeter, and I try my best not to do that with my kits. The only other thing you need to think about is in the pattern I also explain that you need to put a little piece of ribbon between the end there, so that you so you've got a hanging loop and that. So once you've done that, you've made, this is your top and this is your bottom. Okay, you're going to turn your bottom through like so. This is a smaller piece, remember everybody, it's just for demo's sake. We're going to pop that inside like so, and then we're going to join these pieces together. I like to put a little clip here, okay, just to hold the two layers together and give me a little guide. And then I'm going to sew from just before the seam allowance all the way around, and this does just all match really nicely. I use a 1/4 inch seam allowance. You don't need to agonize too much. A couple of little pointers. If we don't get through all of the demo of this, then don't panic. Go back and have a look on my Facebook page, because I did an extensive demo last night. Lots of questions that people ask, do you need a special needle? No, you can just use a sharp needle in your sewing machine. Can you hand sew it? Yes, you can. It's no problem. Fleece stitches beautifully. Do I need a special thread? No, you can use whatever thread you've got in your machine. If you were making garments and everything was under stress, it would be a lot more important. But these are just fun items to make. So I've stitched all the way around. You can see to either side, and then I'm just going to turn this through. So as I turn it through, this is my bottom piece. You'll spend some time poking all this out nicely, and then there's the loop at the top. And already I've got the base for my gnome. So I'm going to bring my my larger one in, okay? And then in your kit, you've got a wreath ring. So if I just dig into this a little bit, you can see here's my wreath ring is in there. I've just popped the wreath ring in there. And then I've added some stuff in. So when we stuff, we're going to put a little bit of toy stuff in there. This doesn't come in your kit, the toy stuff in. It's just too bulky with the post. Okay, and a little bit in the bottom. And then we're going to sew up the opening with a ladder stitch. I normally do. I put the opening and usually on the front, not on the back, because you can actually see the back on this. So if we turn this over, and this is always the neater side, so I like to put that on the back. The stitching here is going to be covered by all the flowers and everything, so I leave that to the front. And then finally, to give myself a really nice base here, okay, I just take a needle and thread and I just do a little running stitch through there. So I tend to think of this a little bit like quilting. So I'm just pulling the thread a little bit. And the reason that I'm doing this is what it does is it just gives me a nice firm surface that when I come to add all the flowers later, it's just nice to stitch to. And it also,
I'm assuming you don't want to do that on a machine just on the basis that you've got that wreath ring in
exactly
there.
Hayley, yeah, the wreath ring would be in the way, and also it'd be quite bulky with the stuff in. So just a couple of little stitches. You can skip this step, but what it does is it does flatten it down nicely, so it gives you a really nice surface.
Jeanette says she's just downloaded Sprout and the tags from your download section.
Oh yeah, and I think that's a good thing now. Well, I think all of us do downloads now. You can get instant gratification then, can't you? You've got your pattern and you're ready to go. So so the one thing to just note is if you do have the downloads, then obviously you haven't got the freezer paper with the pattern. So so you'll need to trace those bits off your yourself. But if you order the paper pattern online, then when I send the pattern out, you do get the pre-printed freezer paper with the pattern as well as getting it with the kit. So just to keep you in the loop. So then for his hat brim, so there's a little hat brim here. Okay, again, it's really easy. You're going to use your leftover lilac fleece. You've got your beige fleece in the kit. You're going to lay the two pieces together, right sides together. You're going to pin your pattern piece on there. I quickly mention this while I'm doing this. If you really enjoy making lots of my kits, then as you can tell, I love using fleece and I use lots of it. I don't sell it by the meter, but Hayley now, as we're working together, Hayley does. So she's got lots of fleece in lots of lovely colours. So if you want to make more of these, then pop over to Hayley to get your extra fleece. Because people are always asking me where to get fleece from. So so then once we've done that, we're going to trim back the excess fabric. So you can see here it is cut out with the excess fabric trimmed away. And then you're just going to turn it through. So we can turn this through
so
quickly.
With this one, you haven't left a gap on the seam around the edge. You've actually cut a little gap in the back to turn it through.
Yeah, and you know what my reasoning for that is, Hayley? I don't know what you're like, okay? But you know, like people who are really, really good at making teddy bears and that, they can finish every single piece beautifully. But if I leave a little gap in a seam here, okay, I can never get it to look as neat as when I machined around there. So what I often do is I slash a hole in the back, okay, because even if I stitch this little bit up badly, or I don't stitch it up, nobody's ever going to see it. And then my edge all the way around here is perfect. So quite often with a lot of my patterns, you'll see that I'll make an incision in the back because I would rather just sew that up than I would sew an edge up. I always find the edge a little bit more challenging. So the hat brim is really easy. His nose is really simple. You just cut out the shape. You do a running stitch all the way around. Pull that. I use a double thread here. So if I give it a good tug, it's unlikely to snap. I put some stuffing in there to stuff his nose. If I turn this nose over, you can see that it doesn't join completely on the back. I'm not worried about that. What I am worried about is making sure that when I stuff it, I haven't got all unsightly creases all the way around the edge. So I want it to be nice and smooth. And then all of a sudden, you can see, okay, I've got his hat brim. I've got his nose. So that's all I'm left with now is to do the flowers. So he is really simple. The same with Sprout as well. So Sprout is easy to make. I just want to show you a couple of things about Sprout. So the base of Sprout will be the same, but his hat this time, because I wanted to make him look like he had a carrot top hat. Okay, so I just bring Sprout back in. You can see he's got these lovely layers in his hat. Okay, so to achieve that, this time what I've done is rather than just cut it straight out of orange, in your kit, you get a piece of calico. I tell you to draw the pattern onto calico, and then you're just going to cut strips of fleece. And then you're going to take your strips of fleece, cut them so that they're long enough to cover the pattern, take it to the sewing machine, lay the first piece over your pattern and do a little row of stitching along the bottom. Then just overlap the next piece, overlap by about an inch. It doesn't really matter. You don't have to be exact with this. And then stitch along the bottom. And then you're going to continue until you've covered the whole pattern. You can see here's all my layers. And then once I've done that, okay, I've got all the layers covered. I'm then going to put a piece of fleece on the back, like so. So right sides together. Okay, then I'm going to lay my pattern on there, making sure that it's not gone beyond where pieces. Pin the pattern together. And then, just the same as I did for petal, I'm then going to cut out the excess fabric. Let me just trim the end of that off. Turn it through, and then this time, once I've turned it through, I've got all the lovely layers to make him look carroty. Now with this one, I didn't bother putting the ribbon loop in because I just thought it was a step too far to explain that in the pattern. And because I give him a little tuft on the top, okay, I've just hidden where I've stitched the ribbon in with his little tuft on top. And all of these pieces are in your kit and all of the instructions are in there. And also, which is something I mentioned last night as well, because you've got the 2 in the pattern, okay, there's nothing to stop you using the design from the eggs off this one and then putting some eggs onto petal to decorate. And if you've got excess fleece or little pieces left over, there's nothing to stop you giving petal rabbit ears as well, which was my initial intention when I first designed it. So because you've got both things, both designs in the pattern, you have got the ability to sort of mix and match by using fabric from your stash. Obviously in your kit you've only got the fabric to make one or the other, but if you've got little pieces left over, and if you've bought my kits before, I'm sure you have got pieces left over, then you can sort of mix and match them, which I thought was quite nice. How are we off for time, Hayley? Am I hogging all the time? Or?
No, you are good. Do you want have you got other demos to do in the next bit, or do you want to finish the steps on this one?
Shall I just quickly show them the flowers?
Yeah, go for
or do you want me to save it, or would you like me to save it for later?
Okay, save the flowers for later. I've got a couple more questions for you.
Okay.
Had a number of girls' kits in the past. They're a joy to work with and make me look very professional. Jeanette saying that she absolutely loves Gail's patterns. They make you smile when you see them. Quite a lot. I have quite a lot of them, and they are so much fun to make.
Oh, that's really nice. So I think the nice thing is, Hayley, that quite often now, because thankfully lots of people share their designs on my Facebook page and that, which is really nice. And often I look at the designs now and I think, is that mine? When I see it.
And then they've changed the colours and they've changed
And then sometimes I get like super envious because there's a lot of clever people out there. So they take my initial design and then they add little bits of their own stuff on there.
And they just make it even better.
Yeah, they make it even better. And then I think, oh, I wish I'd done that now. So, but my excuse is I have to leave it at some point because I need to give everybody space to bring a bit of themselves to the design. And also, if I made them too complicated, I don't want to put people off either, because I'd like to think that the patterns and the designs are good for all abilities. So the patterns are quite detailed, and that's because I want to give people as much information as possible so it's easy for you. It needs to be achievable, I think.
It's always a balance with any kits, whether it's your kind of character kits, or it's Sarah's quilt patterns, or the different things that Nicola or I do. It's always such a balance, because you want to make it interesting enough that people want to have a go, but then you don't want to go so complicated that it's unachievable or it feels unachievable. So it is always a balancing act.
Yeah, it is a difficult one, but I think the fact that I don't get many people actually, most of my questions are, where did you get the fabric from, or where's that button from, and that. I don't get many people asking me how to make something, so
the explanations must be good.
Yeah, there's some level of reassurance. My spelling may be a little off at times, but
I've got a Bridget, so I'll write the instructions and I'll give it to Bridget and say, does that make sense?
Yeah,
she'll proper teacher red pen me.
Oh, really?
You've missed this. You've done that. I don't know what you mean here.
I've got my mum, and my mum reads through my patterns, but yeah, God love her. She's got an uphill to climb with me, and because English has never been my strong point. I blame my mum for sending me to a Welsh school. That's my excuse, and I'm sticking to it. My spelling may not be the best, but I think I seem to be. Everybody seems to be able to follow the patterns, so I think that's a positive thing.
Perfect. Right. We're going to go back around again, but for once. Well, I haven't got my sewing machine out yet, because if I will at some point show you the chaos that is in here, and it's not quite practical to get it in yet. I need to tidy up all my wires. But what I did do was we took all of the requests that we'd had over the last couple of weeks for new panels, because we did one for you, Sarah, didn't we? We did a bear for you.
And my bear. I've made him into a cushion.
I have a whole stack of new ones, which I was hurriedly cutting out when everybody else was doing demonstrations. So I am going to very quickly show you these, and then we'll get straight back to Nicola with Daisy and Grace. So what I have, I'm going to grab the website as well, actually, because I think some of them are a little bit clearer on there. Oh, I keep doing this, you know, I keep putting up the wrong website, which doesn't help me. There we go. So what we've got, what we've been asked for with the rainbow panels. So we do a lot of panels which we use either for, well, we recommend them for cushions and bags. You can make whatever you like out of these. I'm not, you know, I'm not the quilt police. I will not tell you what you can and can't make. But all of these panels use the same principle. There are two large images like these. So if you are doing a bag, you'll notice they're reflected as well. So kind of the antenna are going one way on this one and the other way on the other one. That's because if you're going to do two cushions, and maybe you're going to put them either side of a bed or sofa, then they're kind of looking towards each other or looking away from each other, depending on how you work it out. And then down the side of each of the panels, you will get 4 of these charm square sized ones as well. So Sarah's got hers. I'll show that one in a minute. So that's the first one. That is the B. We've also done, let me see, I've got about 8 new ones and 2 that I just didn't have time to wait for them to come off the printer, but I'll tell you about those as well. So we've got the butterfly as well. That one's got such a lot of colour in that one. So much fun. The panel sizes, they're 47 centimetre square, which is just perfect size for a cushion or a bag. Then we've got a little seahorse. I like his eye. It looks really sad, but it's okay. I think it's okay. And then we were asked for a stag as well. So that is this guy here. He's looking quite majestic. And then back to the kind of underwater theme, we have a sea lion. Look at his little face. He looks so happy. And then a dolphin. And again, all of these, you are getting 2 panels. So you're getting those 2 reflected panels. So you can have them looking towards each other or looking away from each other. And then on this end, you've got your 4 charm squares. So if you're wanting to make pockets for the bags, if you want to make a bag from it, or if you're making maybe a reading cushion and you want to put pockets on the back for, could be remote controls, could be anything. You can add those as well. And my last one, did we find out what the jellyfish was? I know it was wibbly wobbly. Is there not a bit that goes in front of the wibbly wobbly? I'm sure there will be. Oh, she's on it. So then you've got your jellyfish as well. And I think this one, if you're going to spend a little bit of time doing some quilting, adding maybe some ribbons and going a little bit free motion on this one, I think this one could be absolutely stunning. There is a peacock as well, which people have asked for. And there's a gnome as well. So they are all on our website. I will just go and grab that and show you where they are. So if you use the QR code that was in the corner of the screen, that will take you directly to the Thursday 30th of January bit. If you haven't done that, you just head over to Craft Yourself Silly, go on to the Secret Sewing Club, and then down to today. And the deal that we've got is you can get any of our panels. So the new rainbow panels will be in here somewhere. There you go, butterfly. They're alphabetical, so I'll have to scooch through and try and find them. There's the dolphin. The deal is that you can get a roll and a panel together. So if you popped one of the, let's have a hedgehog, and we'll add that into the basket, and then we'll go and get one of the rolls as well. So the rolls, I believe, are, oh no, not there. They are in the pre-cuts bit at the bottom there. So any of the plain rolls as well. So the 2.5s is where you want to go. There's all of those colours. You can see that roll and panel offer is there as well. So we're just going to add one of those into the basket as well. And then that will automatically reduce your basket when you check out. So yeah, I think it reduces it to £15 when you check out. So if you get them as a pair, you are getting a saving that is equivalent to your postage, which is brilliant. So let me switch back. So I just wanted to quickly show you them. I was hoping to get in a position where I could actually do demos tonight, but yeah, I'm going to go and get the camera and I'm going to set it up for you so you can see the disaster zone that has befallen my desk. But that's okay, we're going to get there. Let me go and grab everybody else and check that Nicola is ready. There we go. Hello. I like that Gail just kind of wheels herself back in. She's kind of off to the side doing whatever she's doing over there. And then you just say, oh, we're coming back, and she just, on a little wheelie chair, just straight back in.
Oh, look at the bear. Look at the bear.
My bear that Hayley did for me. Look at him. He's so gorgeous.
It's gorgeous.
And I used one of the rolls and made the back.
Was that the leftover bit?
Yeah, that was the bit that was
you
left
did a quilt,
over
didn't you?
the quilt that we did. So I used that bit, put a little zip in the back, little rainbow zip. And
did your sample arrive?
It did. I sent you a WhatsApp, love, but you've been busy bunny today.
Okay, I have been a busy bunny today, but I will go. I will go and have a look for that.
You need a gecko.
She needs a gecko.
We did do a gecko, didn't we, for the retreat?
Oh, do you want that
full bags? I should probably have a big one, shouldn't we?
Okay.
Yeah, a rainbow gecko is what you need.
Oh, well, no, this one was a white gecko on a stained glass background.
It was,
wasn't it?
We probably. We'll talk later. Might need some for the next retreat. I did find the Welsh for jellyfish. I apologise massively for my pronunciation now. I'm not Welsh. I'm Pysgod?
Pysgod.
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 There we go, Pysgod. Wibbly wobbly. But you've got to put that bit first.
That's
not the real, that's not apparently it's an unofficial
nickname. Front of it, but there you go. And we've all learnt today, Pysgod wibbly wobbly.
There we go.
Right. What now, what do you? Did you know that, Nicola? That it was Pysgod wibbly wobbly. There you go. Every day's a school day.
So what's a jelly? What's a jelly in Welsh?
I don't know.
Gail?
Okay. Tell you what. Let's let you go and do your demonstrations, and we will find this out, and we will come back to you.
Wibbly wobbly.
It might just be wibbly wobbly. Who knows? Right, it's over to you, Nicola.
Lovely. Oh, nice to be back again, everybody. Thanks for joining us. The template set, I forgot to tell you, it's popular. I forgot to tell you, you actually get a free pattern in there as well, and you're saving £18 on the whole set. So that is phenomenal. There's a couple of things that I didn't mention that are on the website that I'm going to demonstrate now. One of them is my Mega Crumb pack, which is full of my crumbs of fabric. And I actually use a Mega Crumb pack, and I thought I'll bring it back on because I needed to make some more because my Mega Crumb pack is nearly all gone. I know they're my fabrics, but actually when you need a little tiny bit of fabric, it's really handy to have one of these. And I do a lot of things with miniature fabric, so perfect for that. And I'm going to get my magic hands in a minute to bring them into shot, and I will pick one and empty it and show you what's in it. But the other thing that I wanted to show you was my Crumb pattern. Now this is 12 designs of foundation paper piecing, and I'm going to be demonstrating this, but I wanted to show, I'm going to pop you onto the overhead for a second. These are all ones that my lovely Steph that works with me, she made from her crumbs. Now, the Crumb pattern works amazing with the 2.5-inch hexagon and the 5-inch square, and anything in that range. But she has used them on the 1 3/4, which is what I'm doing today, is the 1 3/4. But look how wonderful they work on the 1 3/4. So I am going to demonstrate some crumb quilting. But first off, let's go back to the front. I'm going to get Dave to get off the sofa because he's only over there. and pass me the box of mega crumbs into the shop. Yeah, that's it. And Dave, choose one. I'm not even going to choose them because I make them. You just choose one random. Look, magic hands in the way. Let's go for that one. Thank you. Can you take that back? Perfect. So this is a mega crumb pack. There's 100 grams of crumbs in here. Well, I always give extra because I don't want to be stingy. 40 to 45, 50 grams is the weight of fat quarter. So you're getting over half a metre of crumbs, but you're also getting a 10-inch square of neutral fabric. So I find neutral fabric perfect. So let's go to the overhead. Let's empty this out. So what have we got in here? I've got my 10-inch square. Oh, and this is it's an Andover fabric. It's got this lovely crosses. We've got lots of neutrals, got some Moda, some writing, some scripts, some plains. Look at this. I'm going to go through it all so that you can see what's in this pack. A lot of them you can cut the center of the templates out of as well. They're big enough to do the center of templates. I've got some strips here that I'm going to show you. They're on the fold, but I'm going to show you a great way of using those and to get more out of your strips. God, there's lots of those. There's some shiny silver in this one. Look, we're still on the neutrals. Look how much we've got going on. We've got some plains and some spots. This goes on forever. Honestly, loads and loads of fabrics. Bit Tula pink there. Look at this. There's just loads. As I said, there's over, well, I say 100 grams, but I always put a few extra in because I don't want to be too tight. Oh, another bit of Tula pink there. So I am going to use these crumbs to make a crumb piece so that we can cut our 1 3/4 hexagon out of. So I need to move these crumbs over a little bit, and I need to bring the ironing board, because the first thing I want to show you is I'm going to use these folded pieces. They've got quite a deep fold in them. I now want to show you some best press. Oh, let's go back here first. Some best press. So this is what I use. Now I don't stock best press, but Sarah at White Gecko does stock it. So you can go and get your best press from Sarah. But let me show you how wonderful this is. So here's my piece, and I've at a distance, I've given that a squirt with the best press. And I'm going to let that sit for a second, and I've got my iron in, and I'm just going to give that a press. And I'm going to use this bit in my crumb quilting, and it really is still a bit damp, but it takes that crease out the center. It's amazing. I love it. So if you want to, go ahead and get that, because they're brilliant with my crumbs. So I am taken one of, let's go. I've lost my camera ability, so I need my technical support here. Pretty sharpish. I've taken one of my patterns and I have copied it out onto this very lightweight interlining. So if I go to the overhead, here we go. Taken this design number 1. Now these designs, if you work through from number 1 to number 12, by the end you'll be crumbing on your own. You won't need my pattern. There is also a crumb along video on my YouTube channel, which isn't this design, it's another one in the pattern. Tell you which number it is, and you can crumb along with me, so I can guide you as we go. But let's get started on what we do. So I've copied it onto my interlining, and what I'm going to do, I'm going this piece of fabric that I cut, I'm going to cut just a snippet off because I don't need all of that. And I am going to turn my paper, my interlining over, and I can see number 1 shape there. Now this is foundation paper piecing. I'm going to place the fabric on top of number 1, and I like using these little dinky applique pins for this because they're so small, they're perfect for this. And then I'll turn it over, and this piece of fabric has got to cover all the way around number 1, but we're going to join number 1 to number 2. So what I do, I fold that interlining back and I fold that over on that line, and I use this add a quarter ruler, and I am just going to, with my rotary cutter, cut that seam allowance off. Now I'm going to turn it back, and I've got to find another crumb. So back to the crumbs. Let's see, what colour shall I go for? A yellow. Shall I go a yellow? I will. And that needs to cover number 2, which is a small section. So I'm going to pop that on top, right sides together, keep my finger there, take that pin and put that pin through all 3 layers. Then I'm going to go to my sewing machine, and I am changing my stitch length to a small stitch length, and I'm going to pop the needle in that first piece of the line, and I'm going to start sewing black tack, sew all the way along, black tack. That first one is done. So I take that pin out, and I'm going to bring the iron over, and we're just going to press this open. Now you can't see my stitch line because I haven't changed my thread. I've left it as the invisible thread, but you can use a white or a neutral, a grey, invisible, whatever you like. So I'm going to give that a little bit of a press, and then I'm going to take this, turn it over to the interlining side, and I'm going to fold over between number 2 and number 3, and I'm going to take my ruler and trim those edges off. Now some of these little bits are too small, but this little bit I'm going to keep aside because I'm going to show you something hopefully a bit later. And I'm also going to turn this side because this is quite a lot of extra fabric. I'm going to turn that over and trim that. Now I'm using 1/4 of an inch because I'm intending to put this panel into a quilt. That 1/4 of an inch will mean that your seams won't come apart easily, and it just makes it nicer. If you want to use scant 1/4 of an inch and it's a project that you're not going to be using in a quilt, then that is absolutely fine. So I pinned the right sides together and I put that piece of fabric there. I know that it's going to cover this section because it's only teeny tiny, and we're going to go back to the sewing machine and sew between number 2 and number 3. So it's like, now making paper piecing is like stitching by numbers because you're just following the numbers. It's quite easy. There we go. Go back a bit. And take this to the here. Again, take those pins out, and we're going to press that seam open. Now, and you can see it's starting. Oh, you can see it if I put it in the right place. It's starting to take shape. So again, it's all it's so easy, and it's such a nice thing to do. And when I lose my sewing mojo, I don't know if any of you do lose your sewing mojo. Sometimes my mojo just walks out the door and I can't find it. So I love to go to the crumbs because you're using small bits of fabric that doesn't matter if you ruin them because they're scraps anyway. And you get your sewing mojo back. It's so exciting creating your own little fabrics. So there we go. That's how you do that section. I have got one that I made earlier, and that's why I've not got an awful lot of scraps left, because I do go to the scraps an awful lot. Now this section here was one panel, but my fabric wasn't long enough, so I joined 2 little scraps to form that section, which is what you can do as well. But let's carry on, so you can see a bit more of how it's done. Again, oh no, I've got to follow the numbers, Nicola. So I've done number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. So we've got to do number 7, this little bottom piece. So I'll still use this little pink piece, pop that on there, pop a little pin in there and take it to the sewing machine. So you can see that this really does grow very quickly. It's very satisfying, and you're creating something that nobody else has got, because you're using all your little crumbs of fabrics. So it's a fabulous way to bust your stash. Let's say that slowly, otherwise it could have come out quite wrong, couldn't it? So last bit there. I don't need to trim any seam allowance because I'd already trimmed it. Take that to the iron and give that a press. Now earlier today I made more. As I said, I do like the crumbs, and I've made this large section. Now if I turn it over, you can see the square for the 5-inch square or the 2.5-inch hexagon, but we're going to be using now I can't find it because it's under my crumbs. We're using the 1 3/4, and I'm going to cut out a section for the 1 3/4, but I'm not just going to do that. I'm going to show you what you can do with the leftovers as well. So because these templates are clear, you can position it to see what you really like on the fabric. So I could do one where it's just got a small section. I quite like that. So I'm going to position that there, and I am going to cut that out. So cutting away from myself. So that this little scrap is a bit too little to do anything with. I'm going to rotate that round, put my template back on. There we go. Cut that bit. I'm going to keep that bit because that's a nice big bit. We can use that in another crumb. And I'll just do that last. Is that my, no, it's not my last. Excuse me, all fingers, thumbs and everything trying to get, there we go. That's cut enough. What I'm going to do, I haven't gone all through the seams, but there is my hexagon that I'm going to quilt as you go, which is fabulous. But look at all this lovely lusciousness I've still got. So once you've got used to doing crumb quilting, which you will do through having the pattern, you can then go on to do even more. So I've got a little section of purple here. I think I'm going to go really rogue this time. I'm going to place my purple along there, and I'm going to pin that, and I'm going to stitch that with a 1/4 inch seam allowance down here. So let's go to the
Nicola,
sewing.
I've got a question for you, asking about if you need to take the paper off the back.
Oh yes, I'll come to that actually. I'll show you.
No problem.
I'll show you how to take the paper off the back or the interlining. Because I've used a very tiny stitch, it's quite easy, and I'll show you that on the one I've just made.
And I've got another question from Jane. She says, Nicola, will you be bringing bags of crumbs and the printed patterns to the retreat in April?
Yes, definitely. So bags of crumbs, and what else did she want?
Printed patterns.
Yes, of course I will. Yes, definitely.
Excellent. Excellent.
Oh, I'm looking forward to meeting you all. That's so much fun doing a retreat. I'm really looking forward to it. I just cut off 1/4 of an inch, and then I will press that open, and I'm starting a new crumb section, rogue, without my pattern. And hopefully that's what you will be doing. You'll be adding all your little crumbs. You can so these are bits I cut off earlier. I could add this one to this one and start a new crumb, so that you can go rogue. Now back to the question. Let's go to the front. So here's the little one I've just made, and I've stitched on to interlining. Let's go to the overhead again. Let's go zoom. Let's see if, yes, even better. So look, this is my little bit of interlining. Because I've done little stitches, do you see how easy that peels away? So I've peeled that bit away. Then I can peel this. It depends on what project you want to use it in. But if it's going to be in a quilt, you'll want to remove all these sections. If you're going to do it into something like a wall hanging, something like that, you could leave this in. But you can see how easy that is to remove. And that is all down to having the very small length of stitch on your sewing machine. Even these, see, just pull those little sections out like that. We're nearly done. And my mojo is back. I'm ready to start sewing big projects. I'm making a lovely big quilt with this. So that has turned that into a really, they're all my crumbs. That's turned that into a really gorgeous little piece of fabric to go into one of my Quilt As You Go 1 3/4 hexagons. So that is it's so easy, it's so enjoyable, and it's really good fun. And I've given you the tools. You've got 12 designs. I showed you all of them earlier and the way Steph has cut them out. It's just fabulous. It's just fabulous fun, and it just gets your sewing mojo going. And I love it, Hayley. Love it.
Let me go and grab the other guys. Ta-da!
Oh, one more thing, Hayley. Sorry.
Got it.
Add a 1/4 ruler. Sarah has these on her website as well. I don't stock them, but Sarah has these too.
Perfect.
So, add a 1/4, best press, but what you do need is my pattern, my templates, my crumbs as well.
Perfect. So there's a lot of carry on here. We haven't got any more dinner information though. I'm kind of missing because I'm really hungry now. This was not a good time for me.
I've managed to eat like almost a whole pack of these little rice crackers because I'm like, I'm hungry now.
Well, see, there's chocolate biscuits, but I feel I need something more substantial than chocolate biscuits. So I'm trying not to eat the chocolate biscuits in favour of hanging on. So, hang on. No, I've done that question. There was another one from much earlier on that I missed for you, Nicola. So I'll go back and I'll find that, and then I'll catch you with that.
I think that was about the bag Was it that about bag handles or the bag?
Maybe. I'll go and find it. I thought I'd written it down, but I hadn't. So I will go and get it sorted for you, and I'll find that.
Lovely.
Okay. So, Sarah.
Me again. Cool.
You ready?
Oh yeah, I find I was just enjoying all the chat. I suddenly thought I've got to do some work as well.
Just a little bit.
Just
a little bit. Actually, no, before we go back together, I know on previous Secret Sewing Clubs, we've talked about you two guys up the top there, about your kind of previous lives before like becoming into the world of craft and into the world of kind of sewing demonstration. But Nicola, I don't think we've heard what you used to do.
I used to be a fashion designer.
See, that's quite glamorous. Why you packed that in for this?
I love it. I love quilting. I love it. And it's really funny because I was talking to Sarah just before air, and one of our reps is new for a company that we use, and he knocked at my door, and we used to work together about 30 years ago. Can you believe it? He used to work in the rag trade. So he's come to the quilting side as well. There's a lot of us.
Everybody's over here now.
Everybody over to the dark side eventually.
Right, I will let you crack on because we're absolutely spanking through the time today, and let's blame Adam, shall we, for our little guest appearance? Let's blame him, and I will switch it across to you, Sarah, and off you go.
I'll be quick then if we're running out a little bit out of time. I thought I'd take you through a little bit of the thread catcher. It's a really, if you're new to sewing, if it's not something you've really dabbled with before, and you're watching this and maybe you're a paper crafter or you fancy a little bit of sewing or something, this is a really easy little thing to make. We call them thread catchers, but honestly, they could be used for so many things. We've done hundreds and hundreds of these. So they are great for if you've got maybe like an elderly parent or grandparent who loses the remote control down between the cushions. It sits on the arm of the chair, and then you can put your remote control in all in there, and you know where everything is, or your glasses, all sorts in there. If you do like Nicola's kits where you do lots of hand sewing, if you're anything like me, I end up putting the pins in the arm of the sofa, which is very bad for the sofa.
Pins everywhere. And
there's pins everywhere. However,
and they go in the carpet, and then partners / husbands stand on them, and then you know about it. You know about it.
They find them with their feet.
Thanks.
So again, one of these either on your sewing desk or on the sofa or your little table next to you, means that you can use this little bit, which is the weighted bit. Hang on, I've got to try and get this in. Weighted bit. We've got play sand in these, but you can put rice in them as well. Play sand works really well because it actually sharpens your pins. It works like emery, or you can put emery powder in there, but it sharpens your pins as you put them in there. We use play sand, which we dry out in the microwave. So make sure it's completely dry. You can either put it on a tray in the sun, which obviously we don't have at the moment. So you can put it in the microwave and dry it out, and that gives you the weight for it to hold. They are great for kids' rooms. If you've got little ones that you want to. My youngest is 18 now, so doesn't use this. But when she was young, much younger, it would sit on her bedside table, and Mr. Owl, who was the favourite one, used to live in there when she was at school because otherwise didn't know where it was. So lots and lots of uses for these. Like I said, we've been making them for years and years. So I thought I'd take you through how to make the little pouch bit at the top and the straps, because again, it's a very easy sew. We do have them in different colours, and once you've made one, you'll make lots and lots of them, and you can do them in all sorts of colours and stuff. The fabric you've got in here, there's enough. You can actually probably make two if you're careful with your cutting. You can do like reverse colours. So we've got the green, which is, you've got that beautiful gingham, and it's really fresh, like apple green, and then a spot. We've got a really elegant grey, which is a lovely sort of dove grey colour. Got it in the turquoise, and then a pink, and then sort of this lovely peachy apricot colour, and then we've also got one in the purple, which is the made sample that I showed you. So what I wanted to show you really was how to do the little pouch, because it's something that
just before you start, Sarah, I've got another top tip. This is Linda with this top tip. I find mine, which I keep on my side table by my chair, really helpful. I can put my chocky wrappers in it too.
Ah, absolutely. They're like little trash bins. You can put all your stash of sweetie wrappers in there and then say that you haven't had any there from the previous night.
I think I'd put the sweets in it, and then because I always hate that when people put the wrappers back in the tin. Always so disappointing.
You could actually just fill it up with sweets. It doesn't have to be the wrappers.
Exactly.
And then they're just there for like easy access.
Exactly.
Right, I've cut two little squares, two little rectangles for my straps. Okay, you're going to make two of these. So we're going to fold them in half. Excuse me, I'm going to sneeze. No, I will. Yes, I will. There we go. Sorry. You're going to fold these in half like that. Okay. And then we're just going to stitch down 1/4 of an inch. Now, these can be sewn by hand. You don't have to do these on a machine. If you are maybe teaching a little one to sew, these are so simple, so simple to do that, like I said, we've been doing these for years and years and years. We did them with like the brownies and the guides and stuff because they are incredibly simple sewing. So great for beginners. But if you want a little project to teach, you know, a granddaughter, a grandson maybe to sew, great for this as well. So I folded those in half and we're going to do a simple line of stitching down each side. Okay, over to the machine. And it really is just one line of stitching. I've got my 1/4 inch foot on. It doesn't have to be 1/4 inch. It makes no difference. You could just use your normal foot if you don't have a 1/4 inch foot. Just stitch down a seam like that. There we go. Put those out there. So just clip those in between. And then we're going to come back over here like that. Take those pins out. Pop them into Dave, and then we're going to give this an iron. Okay, so
just while you're pressing that, do you remember a couple of weeks ago we had a lady said she was watching in hospital, and then she had all of the other people in the various beds watching. She's back on. It's Jeanette, and she says the ladies that were on the hospital ward watching when I was in hospital are still watching you. They think you're great.
Amazing. Oh, that is so cool. See, we get new viewers from all over the place.
I mean, we're not picky. We'll have anywhere. Hospital.
Absolutely. Right. What I've done then is just turn that right side out and just finger press that seam. And then you want to, so your seam's on your edge like that. You just want to move your seam to the middle, so it's now running along there, and then press that. Okay, so give that a little press, so that basically when you're hiding the seam, so when it's sat like that, you're not looking at your seam. Okay, it's at the back. I'm going to do exactly the same with the other one. So turn that through. This is where Gail's forceps, she sells these amazing forceps for turning through, which I can't be without now. But luckily this is quite a big strap. But if you're using skinnier straps for anything or turning through stuff, grab yourself, I think she sells them on her website, grab yourself a pair of Gail's forceps. I've got some here. They look like this. They're so useful. So useful for turning things through. Okay, and then again, just turn that seam to the center back, so you've got made your 2 little straps with the seams in the back there. Okay,
I've got another
let me get this out of the way.
Well, I've got another message from YouTube this time, and this is Anne on YouTube. She says, hi, she's really enjoying watching us all. Apparently our dogs have been so quiet.
Oh,
I don't know, that's not usually the effect that we have. And
no, normally we wind people up.
Avidly watching us on TV.
Oh, bless. Oh, I'm liking that.
They won't be able to use the sewing machine. But yeah, we'll take any audience. We can get dogs, people in hospital.
Dogs, people in hospital, whatever. Yeah, absolutely. There we go. So what you're going to do next is you use the pattern, cut out a rectangle of fabric, and on one of the short sides, you're going to measure in about 3/4 of an inch, okay, and make a little mark. Like that, and then do exactly the same from the other side. Measure in 3/4 of an inch and make a little mark like that. Then you're going to put one of your straps, so the raw edges of one of the straps to the raw edge, and line up on that little mark there. So you're going inwards, okay, like that. Pop a pin, and then again that side, and then pop a pin. Okay, so I put the seams face down. Okay. And then we're just going to tack these into place so that I can take the pins out, and then we're going to make the little pouch. So what I mean by tack them into place, again, you could do this by hand, but on the machine, just go about 1/8 of an inch from the edge, just to hold that in place. Okay, and you can go straight the way across, all the way across, and hold that second strap in place like that. Okie doke. Right. Back over to the overhead. Oh, sorry, I've gone really sniffy where I've sneezed. Excuse me just a second.
I'll tell you what, while you're doing that, I'll quickly jump onto your website and I will show people where everything is while you're busy blowing your nose. So,
lovely, thank you.
If you hop on to the White Gecko website, you go on to Secret Sewing Club. Now there's the rulers that Nicola, oh, do you know what? Press the button, woman. Press the button, that's not the right website. This is the right website. Here we go. So, the rulers that Nicola was talking about and the best press, that is all on there. And then what Sarah is using right now, let me see. Oh, hang on, there's a page 2. Phew, there you go. There's your little thread catcher kit there, and in all 5 of those really, really pretty colours. Oh, 6! There's another one, there's a turquoise one that I didn't see. But remember, there's 10% discount on everything on the Secret Sewing Club section of Sarah's website, and you don't need to add any codes or anything. You can see it's all taken off there, ready for you, so it is ready to go. Oh, you good, my love? Can I come back?
Absolutely, yes. Hi.
Back in the room.
I did just see a little comment from Maria saying how many miniature bottles of gin I could get in here. I've got a G&T, love.
Well, you see, this is the advantage of the evening option.
I have a little G&T with me. It's all good.
That's fine. You crack on. You crack on.
Right. Okay. So we've just stitched along there, and then I'm going to take this bottom edge and bring that up to the top like that and sandwich it all together. So obviously I've taken the pins out of here so that, you know, when I'm turning through later, I'm not stabbing myself. I'm going to pop a pin in then on the front like that.
See, we were talking with John yesterday about how we quite kind of enjoyed the concept of the craft store because there were no rules, and that is a perfect example.
Absolutely.
Of the no rules.
Absolutely, nobody's telling me I can't have a G&T. It's
usually it's not even liquid. You can't even have water in the studio.
You can't have water, no. It's my studio. I'm in my own sewing room. If I want a G&T, I can.
Precisely. You crack on.
Okay. What I've done is just marked a little gap. What's that? About 2.5 inches, just on one of the short sides. So I'm going to stitch into here. Make sure I lock stitch on this bit, leave myself a gap, and then stitch all the way around so that this is my turning gap here, okay? So back over to the machine. This is, honestly, this demo is going to be done in a moment. If you want me to demo any of the other stuff, guys, just say in the comments, because this one's going to be nearly finished in a moment. We're going to be done in seconds. So if there's something else that you, one of the other products, you think, oh, actually, I fancy that, or I'd like to know how that works, then do shout. So I'm going all the way down this side. Like I said, if you're maybe teaching somebody to sew, or you've never sewn before and you just want an easy little project to have a go at, these, what's that been? 4 or 5 lines of straight sewing, nothing complicated at all. Okay, we're going to come back over here. And then I'm just going to clip my corners. So careful not to cut your stitches. Ow, or stick a pin in your thumb. And we're going to clip those corners like that. Just so you've got a little bit less bulk there. Okay, take that at the pin out. And before I turn it through, I'm going to iron the turning gap because, again, it just makes it a bit neater. So I'm just going to open up that seam, get your fingers in there, and iron that hem there, and flip it over and do exactly the same this side, like that. There we go.
So
and then we're going to turn this through.
Ironing that hem.
Say again, sorry, lovely.
What's the advantage of doing that rather than just flipping it straight inside out?
So if you turn it all the way through, by putting that little crease in, what it's doing is giving you a crease in line with the hem. So when you turn it through, it's much, much neater for hand sewing. If I just turned it through without doing that, you've then got to try and guess how wide the seam is to make it nice and...
I'm just asking the questions that if somebody hasn't asked, they're thinking it.
Yeah, absolutely, love. No, it was a good question.
Preempting the questions this time.
No, it's good question. It's something that we do just to help with the neatness, basically. So we're going to turn it all the way through like this. Come on. And then I'm going to grab my turny tool called a fang, given to me by the lovely Jean Baker, who was on earlier. And it's one of the best things ever for getting your corners out. Fortunately, I don't sell these. You can get them on the A Word, on the Amazon Word. But they are brilliant, these little things. Okay, so there we go. There's my little pincushion pouch. Give that a really good iron now, like that. Okay, you also get a little piece of calico. Now, if you're brave, you can absolutely fill that with sand or rice and then just slip stitch this closed. However, you've then got to take the risk that the sand doesn't spill out in any way, shape or form near your sewing machine. So what I tend to do, we've given you a little piece of calico in the kit, is sew round these three sides and just leave a little tiny gap there. Fill that, the sand or the rice into that, and then hand stitch this closed. So that can then be
effectively making like a little bean bag.
Yes, yeah, definitely. Yeah. So you're making a little bean bag and then putting that inside there once it's full, so that you've got no risk you're going to get rice or sand anywhere near your sewing machine. And then you can just do a little line of stitching on your machine if you don't want to hand stitch, or you can then do a little invisible slip stitch and hand sew that if you want to. And that then becomes the little bag which fits into the catcher here. Okay.
I've got another recommendation for an alternative if you don't want to go for rice or sand. Hayley Badham has said crushed walnut shells.
Oh, yeah, no, they're really good. That's really good for weight. We don't sell them. There's a company called hang on, come back over here a second. A company called the Quilt Shop. They're actually based down in Tenby, and I know that they do bags of emery powder and they do bags of walnut shells. I don't know if any of you ladies do that, but they're great.
I'm allergic to nuts, so I'm going to say no on that one.
Probably not then. That's probably a good idea, not to stock those. But yeah, if you Google the Quilt Shop, I know that they do bags of emery powder and they do bags of crushed walnut shells as well. And they're brilliant for all sorts of pincushions and things, because again, they sharpen your pins and stuff. But yeah, it's such, I mean, that took about 3 or 4 minutes to do that. Really, really quick bit to do. The bag is, again, incredibly simple. It's just 2 rectangles of fabric, and you basically just turn it all through a gap in the lining, just like you would with any bag. All the instructions are on the web, in the pattern. We've also got a little YouTube video of how to do it all step by step. So very, very easy to do. I love these for doing a project with kids. You know, they feel like they've made something. It's incredible, you know, so simple, and they can do it, and they, you know, can then use them in their rooms and stuff, or their playroom and stuff like that. So nice, easy little project. Lots of pretty colours as well. Is there anything there? Because honestly, that was so quick. I feel like I've cheated you out of a demo, really.
Well, that's all right. We'll come back together. We'll let Gail go, and then we will open it up to any questions. If there's anything anybody wants clearing up, then we can always nip back and forth to each other on that last little bit. See, Gail's brilliant. You think she's not there, and then she just obviously hears out of the corner of her ear that we're all coming back together, and then she just magically appears on our wheelie chair. I love it.
I am listening to it all, you know.
I'm not saying
I am listening and paying attention.
I've got a message from Sarah. It's really good to see you all demoing fabulous items and sharing your tips. She's learning so much. Well, I mean,
amazing.
This is kind of what it's about. It's not necessarily always about, you know, perfect demos. This is why we can do this on the Secret Sewing Club, because it is a bit more flexible. And if people have got questions, we can go back to things. It's not the same as it used to be. We can just kind of, you know, we can be a bit more flexible with things, which is good, I think, which is good. So, Gail.
Hello.
Are you ready to finish off your little friends?
Oh no, I've moved on now. I've forgotten about Petal, and I've moved on to I've moved on to pastures new. Okay. No, if anybody wants to have a little look at the flowers, I did do an extensive demo on it last night on my Facebook page.
Perfect.
It's so for the people sometimes, because when you demoed something the day before, I always feel like I'm repeating myself, and then other people say there's always new people coming all the time, so you should just keep repeating a demo. But sometimes I'm slightly concerned as to whether I'm boring people.
Well, you get bored of doing it yourself though as well, don't you?
Or not, and that. So I just thought I'd like mention some other things. So a couple of things I'm going to mention that's on the Secret Sewing Club section. Okay, so I've got Eggsy. So here's my little applique gnome. I sort of call them Easter because he's got little bunnies in his arms. He also comes with eggs in his arm, hence the term Eggsy, with like a little egg in his arms as well. There's little bunnies on the back, and the reason that I'm showing you these are they're limited now, so once they're gone, they'll be gone, and they're never coming back. I've got a limited amount of the grey stripe fabric, and once the kits have gone, the kits will be gone, but the pattern will always stay there. So I just wanted to share that, and I will share a quick little demo. And again, because I like to try to think that I give people value for money for their patterns, the instructions for both are in the same pattern. So the bunnies and the eggs are in the pattern. Likewise, something else that I want to share. So this was one of my favourite Easter wreaths. And this was one of the first Easter wreaths that I did, full of little bunnies, and then a little bunny bottom here, and some carrots and that. So there's a full kit available for this. The only thing that's missing is the stuffing, so you need to provide your own stuffing. But all the eyes, the pom-poms, the whiskers, everything, all the felt for the Easter and everything is in there. Also, with the pattern, it gives you the instructions to do this option as well. You wouldn't believe how complicated it is for me to actually get things the right way around. So the pattern is one pattern that explains how to do this version or that version, but the kit is only, if you buy the kit, it's only for this version. Okay, I didn't do it for both, but the reason that I'm showing you this as well is because some of these designs this year I am going to retire. So the patterns won't retire, but the kits will. It's getting to a point where I just don't have the space in my house to cope with all of these kits anymore. So I have to say goodbye to some of them. And behind me, you can see the big bunny wreaths and that. They are on my website, but again, they're going to be retired this year. So the patterns will always be there. But sadly, some of the kits are, once they're gone, they're going to be gone, and unfortunately they won't be returning unless ever eureka moment. Do you do that, Hayley? Do you retire things?
Oh yeah, absolutely. You can't keep it all of the time.
No.
Again, with the kind of printing that we do, what we'll do is we'll maybe retire the patterns from a kit, but again, we'll leave them on the website, because for us, if we need to print a meter of it, it's not like we have to buy a whole bolt in. We can just run a meter off on the printer. So yeah, things like that we kind of keep, but some of the patterns, yes, we do. You just have to.
So it feels a bit sad sometimes when I find it difficult to let go and think, oh no, they've gone now to pastures new.
Well, they're not though, because they're always there as a download, so they're still there.
Yeah, so the patterns are still there, and then finally one last Eastery thing. So the next time you see me, I will not be Eastering anymore, although all the Easter stuff will be still on the website, are these little bunnies. So there's a range of little bunnies. The kit gives you enough stuff to make 2 bunnies. They come in 3 different colours, in blue, in green, and in pink. So the kit will give you enough to make 2 in the same colour. It comes with the instructions to make the little egg. In the kit, it also has a little carrot buttons and that, and also gives you the instructions for wings, so you can make with wings or without. This is Hoppy Easter. And there's also, because you couldn't have a little girl without a little boy, there's Warren. So Warren's here in pink. He also comes in the green, the mint, and the blue as well. And I did do a photograph of them together because I just thought they were cute for Valentine's Day. And again, with the patterns, think outside the box. Maybe if you've got somebody who's getting married, you could do the dress all in white, because once you've got a pattern, you can go off and do as many things as you want. And then you could do him maybe in like a nice navy or a dark suit and whatever. And then they could make a nice little wedding couple. The possibilities are endless. Even take them into Christmas. So maybe do them in reds and greens and whatever. Maybe give them a little Christmas hat and that. They would be quite cute hanging from the Christmas tree. And the pattern does have the glitter felt in there for you to add wings or not wings. It's entirely up to you. So I'm going to do a little bit of a demo on both. Just cover a few little things on the bunnies and a few little things on Eggsy as well. So sometimes it's a little bit challenging to show you how to make a complete thing. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to cover a few little hints and tips on things. So without further ado, and then Hayley, feel free to...
Can I just say, Gail, I am so proud of you, because you were so fearful of all this tech, and now it's like you're a pro. It's like you've always done it.
Oh, wow. I shall take that as a compliment.
Yeah, it's a very big compliment. You've absolutely smashed it.
I think as well what everybody needs to be mindful of is that we all need help in some areas, don't we? And I think the big important thing is, and I think this is a lovely, what I like to call this, like my Facebook page and this, I like to call this a safe space where we're all friends together. And I think we all need to help one another. So Sarah has been really super kind to me and has helped me with all the tech. And then I'd like to think that I can be the same with other people, helping them with their sewing and that. So we've all got our strengths, and I think it's really important to share all that with each other. It sounds a little bit cheesy, but,
but that's what the Secret Sewing Club has been about. Has been because we all have been kind of chipping in, and the ones who understand the tech and have been set up for a while are helping the new ones coming in, and it kind of all goes and cycles round a bit, doesn't it?
Yeah. I think it is really it's really important. And as I watch the girls' demo as well, that people might think, oh well, she sews, so she doesn't take any notice of what Nicola and Sarah are doing. But I'm always listening. And I think that's important for the people watching as well, that you might not buy a kit off me, you might not buy one off Nicola or Sarah, but you've got a wealth of experience of all four of us, that we've all got sewing hints, tips and techniques that we're constantly sharing with you, and you can always learn something new all the time, and we use different products for different reasons and things that we like. So I think it's a good place for people to come, and they're not under any obligation to buy anything. You can just listen to us waffling on and sharing things.
We're just company. But if anybody does have any questions about any kind of sewing, just chuck them in there. One of us should be able to help you out. And obviously, Secret Sewing Club changes the guests every week. Unfortunately, you still get me because I've got to press the buttons. But guests change every week. So if you're more into embroidery, then that does pop up every now and again. If you're more kind of hardcore quilting, that all appears. We've got new guests every week. So got 2 new guests this week, in fact, as well.
Oh, have you? And you had new guests last week as well, didn't you?
Well, because everybody's heard how fantastic the Secret Sewing Club is, and they all want to join in.
Exactly. I think it's a really good environment, and and it's nice to be together. And hopefully, now being part of the craft store as well, I'm hoping that that's going to bring an even wider audience. And then with that, and we get a lot of inspiration from our customers. And the customers engaging with us and asking us lots of questions. There's stuff that I think, oh, that would bore them, or they wouldn't be interested in that. And then somebody asks a question, and then you think, oh, I haven't shared that for ages. So it's really good that I have to be honest, I'm not not very good at doing the whole reading things and talking
No,
and
that's
doing
why
the
you
test.
that's why you have me though, just to chip in now and again and say, here's a question.
Chip in and yeah, and keep us in line. And so yeah, so it's
never
good.
Happen.
And
I will never ever be able to keep you lot in line. It's
yeah,
it's an impossible task.
I'd like to think as well that the customers, as the weeks go on and months go on, and we continue to do this, that a lot of people are less scared about asking us questions as well. Because sometimes people always say, "Oh, it's a really stupid question," and somebody said to me years ago, "The only stupid questions are the ones you don't ask." Because you could waste fabric or do something wrong or whatever. So we're all learning all the time. I mean, if you imagine the amount of questions I've asked about how do I turn my phone on and how do I get this camera to work, you know, and for other people, it's a walk in the park. So yeah, so no question is stupid, and don't ever be scared to ask.
I had 2 new ladies in the shop today, and they were completely new to kind of quilting, and loads of questions, and they said, "Oh, is this a bit of a silly question?" I'm like, no, just if you don't ask, you're never going to find out, or you're going to be searching about forever. Just ask somebody who knows, and that's exactly what we're all here for.
Yeah.
I've got a message from Robert. He says, we all have our own way of doing things. It's always interesting to see other people's take on techniques. And Anna had neurosurgery this morning, and she's back on Facebook and found us. She says, what a treat.
Wow.
So, I mean, well, very privileged. Very privileged.
That's very impressive as well. Good girl. So I'll just share a couple of little bits and pieces, because I know time is of the essence now. So I'm just...
Normally it would be, because we'd have to be off by a certain time. I'm prepared to run over a little bit, but we've got to get better at finishing on time. So yes, go for it.
Yeah. So I'll just share a couple of little pointers with everybody. And that. So something that I get asked lots of times, and I have explained lots of times, is which is the right and the wrong side of the fleece. So when you've got a brand new, lovely, new big piece of fleece, which I did have somewhere, you'll have a selvage edge on there. And if you've got a selvage edge on your fleece, like I have got on this piece, it makes it really easy to know which is the right side of there. So can we see the selvage? That's where it gets in the machine when they're manufacturing it. You'll see it on cotton and that as well. And can you see the fleece curling round, or just curling round like that? It always curls round like this. Okay, so I know this is the right side, okay, because the fleece is curling on the selvage edge. So I know it's the right side. Don't agonize too much over which is the right and the wrong side. As long as you're constant, it doesn't matter. But the right side has always got a little bit more pile than the wrong side. And if it's a patterned fleece, you'll find that the picture or the printed image is so much better on the right side. On the wrong side, it's always a little bit dull. So that's great. I've got a brand new roll of fleece. I bought a couple of meters of it. I've got my selvage edge, and I know exactly which is the right and the wrong side. And then all of a sudden, I've cut all these little pieces off. I mean, this is a particularly small piece, but I've cut all the pieces off. It's all just shoved in a bag somewhere. I get it out and I want to make something. And I start looking at it, and it's a bit dark and that, and I'm going, well, which is the right or the wrong side? And I'm not entirely sure. So what you do to find out which is the right or the wrong side, give your fleece a tug, okay? So you can see this way, it hasn't got much stretch. Pull this way, it's got a lot of stretch, okay? So find the side that's got the most stretch in it, because that's the side you want to test. Grab hold of the ends of it and pull. And can you see the fleece is curling? If I turn it over, you can see it's curling. It will curl towards the back. So I know this is the right side. So if I turn it over, so say, for instance, I picked it up and I turned it that way, and this is the stretchy side, and I pulled. Can you see it's curling over? It's curling to the back. So this side is the front. So if you've ever got scraps of fleece and you're wondering which is the right or the wrong side, then that'll explain to you which is the right and the wrong side. Now with Eggsy, if I can just get him from behind me a second. Bear with me. Okay, here he is, Eggsy. Unlike a lot of the other projects that I've made, you saw me do a little hat brim and that earlier, and you saw me make a little nose and that. If we look at Eggsy, he's on a background fabric, and I've stitched him to a background fabric, and I have actually fused him on here. Okay, so his hat and his body is fused, and you can see what I did with this lovely stretchy fabric. If I just move him up a little bit, is I just, before I fused him down to my background fabric, I tucked his legs in and I tucked his little arms in. So I'm not going to show you exactly, but I just wanted to show that what I did is I just used a fusible. Okay, so this is heat and bond. You can use heat and bond or bonder web. I cut out the piece, I traced the pieces off, and then I cut them out, and then you can see the heat and bonds on the back. Okay, and then I fused these pieces down to make Eggsy. Now, lots of people worry because this is fleece and it's a recycled fabric made out of plastic bottles. So imagine this is plastic. You start putting a really hot iron on top of there, okay, and you can have a few issues. So what I always do is when I'm fusing it, so I would have drawn this out, I would have put it onto the back of my fleece, and then I would have ironed. Okay, so when I iron fleece in there, I always put a piece of fabric between my my fusible and the fleece, and then that way I'm protecting my iron, because nobody wants the fleece to stick to the iron, and I'm protecting the work as well. And then when I come to iron this on, okay, so now I will have peeled off the backing paper. If I just remove the backing paper, you can see the fusible on there. I'll then be fusing this onto my fabric. Now this is quite thick, okay, so if you were using cotton, there'd be a thin piece of fabric here, and as soon as you put the heat of the iron on there, it would fuse straight away. With fleece, because you've now got a thick layer before the heat of the iron can get to the glue, again, I would always put a cloth on top, okay, and then I put the iron on. And unusually, okay, I wouldn't normally do this with other fabrics, but I would use steam in my iron, and the steam really helps penetrate through the fleece and helps fuse it. And then if I had any issue with it not fusing completely, I would turn the piece of work over, okay, and then I would iron from the back. Because if you imagine now, you've only got a thin piece of fabric this way, so there's only thin fabric between that and the glue, whereas from the other side, okay, you've got thick fabric before the glue. So if you've got any issues with it sticking, then just use a little bit of steam. So what I'm hoping to do is, I have designed quite a lot of quilts that have got all the applique done with fleece. And I think what I'll do over the next couple of weeks, and on my Facebook page and on a Secret Sewing Club, I'm going to show some of the quilts, and I'm going to show you how easy it is to fuse fleece, because I know lots of people are scared of it, and how easy it is to sew it. Because remember, the good thing with fleece is you haven't got an edge that's going to fray. So when you come to sew down the pieces, as we can see here, I've just used a little zigzag stitch. I haven't had to worry about going in with a really good satin stitch. I could use a blanket stitch or a straight stitch. Most of the stitches disappear into the fleece as well, so that's really good. So if you're new to sewing, lots of people think that with fleece, because it's got a stretch in there and that, they're a bit scared of it, and they think, oh, I'm new to sewing, it's easier to stick with cotton. Believe it or not, forget about the stretch, because we're not making garments here, so it's not an issue. Fleece is quite forgiving because it hides a multitude of sins. So if you're new to sewing, all your stitches disappear in there. So so it's really easy to work with.
Once you've added the fleece to that fusible glue kind of interfacing, it knocks a lot of that stretch out.
Exactly. Yeah, it makes it really stable, you know,
Yeah.
so it makes it so much easier. So I think it'd be something that I look forward to maybe doing some of the quilts in going forward and showing you quite a few techniques on stitching. And the little bunnies as well. I've made this as simple as possible for you. So quite often I look for techniques that make things easy so that you get a nice, neat finish. So what I did with the bunnies is, again, you'll see me multiple times use freezer paper to cut things out, ironing freezer paper onto felt and then cutting out because it gives me a nice die cut finish. And then if I got two of these bunnies and cut two out and then tried stitching them together, okay, it would be challenging on a sewing machine. It might be okay by hand. So what I do is I take one bunny, I pop it on a complete piece of felt. Okay, then I take it to the sewing machine. Now I've got a nice area to work with. And then I sew all the way around the bunny on the machine with this. And then I take a pair of scissors and then I cut the bunny back. I'll just see if I've got a bunny to hand. I thought I had one, but I've obviously, it's obviously hopped off somewhere. But if I just bring this back in, and then you can see, look how neat it is, how all the edges match up. And the reason all the edges match up is because once I'd done one, I'm cutting one back to exactly the same size as the other. So it makes me look like I've done a super neat cut, and also makes it look like I can cut a really, really small seam, sew a really, really tiny seam allowance as well. But I didn't actually, did I? Because when I was on the machine, I had a really nice thick piece of felt around there. So you'll find in the patterns, if you're new, if you're not used to doing my patterns and whatever, then take a little bit of time to read through, okay? Because some of the techniques I use are not necessarily the same techniques as you might have done with other people, because I'm trying all the time to make life as easy as possible. And also trying to think of things that gives you value for money out of the pattern. So in the pattern, there's instructions on how to make a little egg. And then I like encourage you to put hanging loops on there. And then you could make eggs to hang from your Easter tree. So all the time, look at your pattern. Okay, look at, like, if you can get value for money out of there. The little flowers could be used on something else. The bunnies are perfect for put a little hanging loop on them and use them on your Easter tree. Also, the bunnies, you can see with this, I've appliqued them onto the back as well. So your kit as well has got all the pom-poms and everything in there. You don't get the fluff that I've got on the cushion. I keep the fluff at home. But you get all the felts and everything, and you can see he's got like a little egg there. The fur's in your kit as well. So everything everything's in there and super simple for you to make. Would you like me to cover a few other little bits?
No, we're kind of running perfectly for time at the minute. So what I thought we'd do is we'd pop back together. And then I will give everybody a chance to just recap, because people have got special offers on and things like that. Recap what they are and how long they're on for, and then we will go from there. I will start with Nicola first, who's just over here. Hiya. Oh, sorry, I haven't unmuted you. Bear with, caller. Because in between, when people are doing demos, I generally mute the other two so there's no extra noise to distract people, because well, actually these ones are very good, but some are noisier than others. Not these ones are all very good.
Am I still quiet?
I don't think so. Your mic's up now, so you're good to go. So Nicola, what are the offers that you've got on? Oh yeah, you set a challenge.
I set myself a challenge, and this is how much I've made.
That's really hard.
Wow. Yeah, all by hand. All by hand.
Almost half.
It's almost half, not quite.
I love that it's reversible. So cool.
Yeah. So yeah.
Oh, so you've got some ones where you've got the kind of quilt as you go on one side, and then some where you've got it on the other side.
So that's got the bindings on there. Turn it round, and it hasn't.
Yeah.
So you can change.
Lovely.
Wow.
So
But
what
what
are
have I got on?
offers? Yes, what are your offers that
Yes.
you've got on?
So I've got the set of six. Six. I had to check 6 templates and the pattern. That's Norman. You're saving £18 on that.
Brilliant. Okay,
So
and that's on for till when?
That is indefinite. That one.
Oh,
I'm just
fancy.
being very kind on that one. So if you're watching on catch up, it'll be there.
How long have they got to put orders in for the signed template? That was my other question.
Yes, that's till midnight tonight. So anything that comes in till midnight tonight will get the Jenny Doan. Let me take it out of the packet. So this is the American version of my templates. And when I was out there, Jenny kindly, oh, you can't see it, kindly signed it on the template. And she kindly, oh look, she's put happy quilting, love Jenny, on the instructions. So this is my version that gets sold in America.
So that's any order between now and midnight goes into a draw, and one lucky person is going to just get a surprise in their order.
Yeah, I will just pop it in an order, and they will find out. So that's.
Oh, it's a Pepsi. I was just wondering what Gail was drinking.
Oh,
I thought she'd like, I'm done with this nonsense.
oh, I didn't see that. I was miles away.
So Gail, what are your offers, and what
there's
when are they on till?
So Petal and Sprout has got it's either £3 or £4 off it. I can't remember which, but it has got a discount on there. And I'm going to continue the discount on them until I go on Sewing Street in March.
In March, wow.
Yeah. So and then the price will go up in reflection to Shopping TV. And
you see, that's again one of the advantages that both us as suppliers and you as customers get from things like this and coming direct to us through online shopping.
Yeah,
is because we can put those extra discounts on because we don't have to pay that premium to the other places.
Yeah, so, I probably shouldn't have said that out loud, but
no, we've just clarified. It's fine.
Yeah, and then there's some discounts on buying pattern combinations for Trevor and Tracy, Tina and Terry, and that. There's lots of little bits and pieces going on. And there's also, I'm going to give a free pattern away. So the pattern will be worth somewhere between £6.95 and £8.50, depending which pattern goes in the kit. But whatever pattern I give you will obviously not be a repeat of anything that you've bought. And I'm going to do that for a week, so that so for all of the people watching on catch up and whatever, I'm aware of that. So for the next week, any orders I send out, I will put a free pattern in with every order.
That is until, let me just get a date. So till the 6th of February, which is my brother's birthday.
Super.
And it's also, I think it's like White Tangy Day in New Zealand or something, and I only know that because it's my brother's birthday. I don't know what that day is or why it is significant. I just know it. And Sarah, what special offer loveliness have you got for us, and when is it until?
So we've got 10% off everything in the Secret Sewing Club. Put my teeth back in.
Love.
Category. And I'll leave that on for a week. I'll leave that on till a week today, okay? Perfect. So give people a chance to have a little watch and catch up with us over the next few days.
Brilliant.
So I'll leave that 10% on for a week. And yeah, there's loads of, I mean, so like we're saying, those charm packs, some of them literally came in the shop this week, you know,
so brand new ones, they're not
brand new
stock
ones.
Wow. But
so
again,
and they're normally
the way
like 14,
the way that this
quid.
works allows us to give those kind of slightly better prices and the bigger discounts, because we're not having to pay that commission elsewhere.
Yeah, and that lovely fat quarter bundle, like I said, was originally 75 quid. We put it down to 50 anyway, but with the 10%, you'll get it for £45. So you've got 20 fat quarters in there, which is
what's that,
a ridiculous 5 meters of fabric for 45 quid. So, and it's the Alison Glass Soliloquy, which is a beautiful, beautiful
That's
range.
less than £10 a metre.
Yes, I know.
Very good, very good.
Bargain.
And at Crafty Self Silly, we have our panels on. It's not just the rainbow ones that I showed you, it's all of them. So it's the stained glass ones, it's the patchwork ones, it's the whole lot. And there is a deal, so if you go for a panel and a roll together, it will automatically take off, I think it's $3.95 or something at the end. So you'll get them as a little combined deal for £15 for the set. And that will stay on for 7 days as well. So that will come off on the 6th of February. We are on time, ladies. Well, we're going to be about 1 minute over in a second. But thank you all very much. We've had a lovely... Thank you, everybody, for joining us as well. I hope we got through everybody's questions. We've been trying our best to get through them. If you still have questions, then absolutely pop them in or contact any of us directly. Obviously, we've given you all the websites and things. Oh, hang on, here we go. We were going to finish on time, but there's now a whole lot of questions. So, Sarah, bit of a random question, but would Aurifil thread just snap if you pull it? Do they mean the invisible thread? I think that's one we might have to come back to because I might need a bit more information on that. But lots of other people saying thank you very much and that they will see us later. So I will bid everybody